Ladies and gentlemen, please take your seat. The show is about to begin.
Presented by Front Yard Fantasy. I'm your host, Simon. Joined as always by my wildly handsome co-host, John Luke Garofalo. Our friend Coop with us, aka Coop A. Fiasco. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show and a happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody out there. I'm Simon Greeneveld, your host, joined as always by my co-hosts, John Luke Garofalo and Andrew Cooper. What's up, boys?
What up?
What up, dude?
Coop, I like your new hat.
Yeah, I heard you mentioned
store?
it's St. Patrick's Day today.
Yeah, is that why you're wearing that or just total coincidence?
I didn't know. What do you mean? My sweatshirt?
Something
You
like
look
that.
right
I
at home.
I do have a green sweatshirt.
Oh, now that you turned your head, I see there's a back bill too. This is a double-sided hat?
This is it. It's actually a visor somehow.
Wow.
Somehow.
Impressive.
Yeah, pretty. Oh no, I'm still wearing my backwards hat, which
I
is
see.
also tradition, kind of double tradition.
It's a hat on top of a hat.
Yeah.
On top of a hat. There's another hat on top of it.
I'm just gonna I'll do my own takes, but then I'll also have him weigh in. Did you
What's
boys?
his name? Blarney? Or is that just what he says?
His name is Barney Blarney.
Barney McBlarney.
Did you boys see me? Patriots signed Jimmy Robinson.
I can see your lips moving, Coop.
Did you boys see me? Patriots signed Jimmy Robinson.
Oh my God, it's like it's here.
We got Cameron in the chat saying, "Nice hat, Coop." He's a big fan.
A nice
of your
hat to you today, Cameron. That was actually it's getting worse. Cameron, me boy.
Tommy said, "Happy St. Patty's Day to all that are near. I hope that for breakfast you brought us a beer." Beautiful. The first thing Keith said to me this morning is, "Have you had a Guinness yet?" The answer's no.
What's what's the best St. Patrick's Day beer that isn't Guinness, in your opinion?
Green Bud Light.
Yeah.
Miller Lite.
I think it's the green
both
one.
Irish classics.
I'm not going with an Irish classic. I'm just going with when I went to the bars and they would sell like 50-cent cups of green beer.
Yeah,
that was the best kind.
I'll go with Smittix. Although Miller Lite is that's another guy. I mean,
Miller Lite.
You can't walk into an Irish pub without them asking you, would you like our traditional? We have a traditional Miller Lite today available on tap.
Yeah,
yes.
ain't no way in college I'm buying some nice Irish beers. You think I'm made of money? Hell nah.
Yeah, the Irish would be proud of you.
The Irish would be proud. Well, guys, there was a lot of news that happened yesterday, so I think we should get straight into it in a segment we call Bring Your Own Breakfast. You guys just got to bring something to eat because we got everything else. We got the topics. We got the stories. You just got to bring your own breakfast. We got the beans. JL, you have any beans this morning?
Nope. You?
Coop, any beans?
Yeah, I already had them, though. So
all greedy little bean boy.
Great little bean eater. I did all eat all my beans. I had a bagel today. You know what that means?
It's Friday.
I'm capable of anything. Also had a chocolate milk and a coffee. So pretty loaded day.
Coop eats like 4,000 calories before 7 a.m. every day.
Yeah,
I only
he eats like 3 breakfasts.
And then I have lunch and dinner after 10 p.m.
Coop is a hobbit.
Yeah.
with
pretty smart
schedule.
And Barney O'Blarney.
Why does Coop as a hobbit fit so well?
You can just see him with Samwise Gamgee and Frodo like following around, eating second breakfast.
I can 100% see him in those like village scenes before everything starts going down.
Barefoot.
Just playing with all the barefoot, giant hairy feet.
My friend Barney O'Blarney here already had a full corned beef and cabbage.
Disgusting.
That's-
That's both so gross.
He got started the day getting all
Couldn't
corned
have
up,
chose a more gross
corned
word.
up, and beefed up. He wouldn't let me have a single bite.
Ugh.
Dave in the chat. What's up, Dave? He said,
Dave.
good morning, goofballs. And
Time is it in
BYOB.
Toronto?
I think Toronto's Eastern time, if I'm not mistaken. And
Whoa.
we got
Gremlin
NKC
time, baby.
rules in here with good morning.
Good afternoon to you.
What's up, NKC? Welcome in here. Glad to have you. Because I'm going to kick us off with a piece of news that maybe isn't the biggest news, but it's something we've talked about multiple times now. And that is former Panthers running back Deonta Foreman signing to a 1-year, $3 million deal with the Bears, not the Panthers. So this might clear the way for Miles Sanders to be the lead back in that offense unless they bring someone else in Carolina. And Deonta Foreman is now there, I guess, to compete with Khalil Herbert or for a more committee approach there. How do you guys feel about this move from the Bears and the Panthers side?
I like it. I like it from both sides. We talked about it yesterday about how if they signed Deonta Foreman, it's going to be bad for Miles Sanders. So I like that call out, Simon. This is a plus for Miles Sanders, and I think it's a plus for that Bears offense. Losing David Montgomery, throwing a guy like Deonta Foreman, that's solid.
Right.
I don't think they need running back. Like that's not their biggest hole.
Yeah, it's funny how like if a rookie came out and had 200 carries for 900 yards and 5 touchdowns, then we'd be like, oh my God, he's amazing. But because it's Deonta Foreman getting his first actual chance to start a reasonable number of games where we don't care, right? Like he was good last year, was he not? I thought he was pretty good.
He was.
Yeah,
He looked
so-
good.
When he played.
Yeah, the Khalil Herbert hype, 2-week long hype period. Rest in peace to the Khalil Herbert hype train.
Sorry, Dustin, if you're in the chat. Tommy said Bears loading up with Rodgers on the move. Yeah, I think suddenly this division looks winnable. People have been sad about this division for quite some time. Not that the Vikings haven't been competitive, but these other teams that haven't been, the Lions, the Bears, it's going to be a whole new looking North division there.
Oh, new looking north.
Welcome to the new North, starring the Bears and the Lions.
The new North.
I love that made you giggle.
Exciting times. The we saw from yesterday, or was it yesterday that Rodgers did his press conference? I think it was, right? These days are all blending together. I don't know what the hell. Like I went and looked at the free agents, and I don't know who signed what and where. Was it 2 days ago? It was Wednesday.
It was 2
right?
days
2 days
ago.
ago.
Okay. Yeah.
Before we get into the Aaron Rodgers thing, you just reminded me, Coop. Simon called that Furman upside yesterday.
No,
Can we
dude,
hype
he
that
did.
for a second?
Yes, dude. Let's go.
Because I like screamed when I saw that they got that. I was like, "Oh my god, that's what Simon said on the morning show."
Dude,
I was in my kitchen cooking lunch with the game on in my headphones, laptop on. But like I started cooking lunch because I kind of like I thought the game was over. You know what I mean? There was 5 seconds left. Virginia just had to inbound the ball. They were up 2. It was going to be the end. And when that dude jumped up and grabbed the inbound pass, I screamed at the top of my lungs. I screamed. I just let out a what the F? Like every year I forget. This happens every year. And when that shot went in, my dogs thought that our house was being robbed. The level of screaming that I did.
I love that we didn't
this tournament.
I love that we didn't really even talk about March Madness at all. We talked about it for like 2 seconds, and Simon's just like, "Oh, I picked Furman, by the way." He just throws that in there. Yeah, like that was like the one pick you said.
I got him winning one more. I'll say it here again. I got him beating San Diego State in the next round. Furman to the Sweet 16.
The rest
now
of
Furman fan.
the rest of the picks are behind the paywall.
Yeah, every other pick. Or if you're in the March Madness bracket pool, you can just go click on it and see every single one.
Simon, whenever you said that yesterday, I thought, "What an idiot." Furman, that team that we just walk all over every year in football in the beginning of the season. It's no way they're going to compete. Boy, was I wrong.
The FU Paladins had something to say about that, didn't
Yes,
they?
they did. The FU Paladins.
They've got all these sweatshirts that say FU on them just all over their campus.
That's what
Like,
my mom was saying.
if you go to Furman's campus, everybody's just wearing FU all over themselves.
Kind
And
of
it's
lean
bright
into it.
purple. It's kind of nice, though. It's kind of nice.
I like it.
One time I saw Borns on that college campus perform
Who?
a concert. Borns, he sings Electric Love. Baby, you're electric love. You know that one?
Yeah, I know that one.
And he's standing on stage and he looks out and it's a tiny little campus and he goes, "You know whose backyard this is? Thanks for letting me play here." And then he just starts his show and I lost it. What a funny thing to say. Like he like disparaged their campus.
This is.
Thanks for
Thanks
letting
for
me
letting me
play
play
here. Like I think he was shocked at how small of a show it was.
That's hilarious.
It was funny though.
Scoop's a big
Speaking of,
FU guy. Not a big fan of the the FU slander.
I was tweeting out the show, doing a little promotional work, part-time gig.
yeah,
I'm kind of a
Speaking-
half producer. We talked about it in the shower this morning, me and Hot Pasta and Keith. So got that out there. But yeah, big Furman fan.
Big firm fan. FU.
big firm.
FU.
F-U. A big F-U to
Speaking of
every
a
bracket.
fur man, Gardner Minshew with his beautiful mustache signed with the Indianapolis Colts. They have agreed to terms. So
Yes.
we're going to get Gardner Minshew back as a starter until they draft a quarterback at number 4 overall.
No, don't you dare say that.
How many beers do you think Gardner Minshew and Jim Irsay crushed while they're hammering out the details of this contract?
Jim Irsay had 1. Together they had 47.
What Simon said.
Yeah, they probably sitting in the back of Minshew's van, just working on the finer
He
details of
just
this
keeps
contract.
asking if he wants another one.
Right.
You want another one? Jim's like, no,
No,
please. Still.
Sign on the dotted line. He's like, I never sign on the dotted line until I've had a couple of beers.
That's
Please,
right.
I want to go home. I've been here for 6.5 hours.
Do you want another one? No. And can I get the pony in the contract? Still no.
One more cigarette break. Just one more
Someone call
cigarette
Jay
break.
Cutler.
Tommy down here wants to know, is your bracket intact? Because I keep learning that March Madness is Princeton and Furman. Did you guys get knocked out by Princeton? Did you have Arizona going far?
I think I did, but I don't know because it's impossible to tell in this interface.
I
I don't
can't
think
get.
the Elite Eight, but
I don't even remember what website was Scott Fish's and Pat Mayo's thing on. I can't.
Be safe.
Is that what it's on? I can't even find my bracket.
so we got
I only
Hal
made
in
one
here.
bracket.
Good morning, Hal. Said, may the road rise to meet your feet. May the wind be always at your back and the sunshine on your face.
Oh yeah, I had Arizona go into the Final Four. Shoot.
Tommy
Shoot.
said, no way you picked Princeton. I did not, but don't underestimate people's ability to pick based solely on personal bias and funny outcomes. Princeton
True.
is a nerd school. There are lots of people who will have picked a nerd school just because it'd be funny for the nerds to make it to the next round.
Very true.
People pick
Freaking Oral Roberts got knocked out.
I know.
I had them
It's-
going to the Sweet 16.
It's
Oh, yeah,
tradition to pick against Duke in the first round, no matter what.
I knew that Oral Roberts was going to lose because ever since I've started playing this game, Duke has always done the exact opposite of what I chose. I've never once hit on Duke.
So
When I
it's your
chose
fault.
them, they lose.
Well, why
When
didn't you
I
tell us that
don't
yesterday?
choose them, they win. I thought about it, but I didn't want to get made fun of.
Well, now I'm going to make fun of you extra today.
Exactly. Yeah.
I
Look
figured that was coming.
look where we are now. I had UVA and Arizona in the Sweet 16, so a lot of red on that side of the bracket right now for old Andy.
Not the best.
Sucks.
Not the best bracket.
Barney O'Blarney's bracket's still perfect.
Barney
Just
O'Blarney,
need-
wow.
I just need Purdue to win it all.
Oh no,
Please.
guys, I am just realizing that I didn't check the results of the game that I fell asleep during last night, and one of those teams is in my Final Four, and thank God they won. Penn State
What
beat
team?
Texas A&M.
That
That is my big upset pick. I'll put it out there now. I've got the 10-seeded Penn State in the Final Four. I just kind of fell in love with them in that Big Ten tournament, but we'll see.
Which side of the bracket are they on?
Right, top right corner.
Right, top right.
I don't know why. Well, I guess I kind of do know why, but I just always root against Texas A&M. I don't know about you guys. Their fans are they're a little too much. They're a
I
little
didn't
too
encounter
much.
their fans all that often until I moved here, and now most of my girlfriend's friends went to Texas A&M. They're everywhere here in Texas. They're a passionate fan base with one too many traditions.
Too many traditions, and they're too cheery. They're like, it's like 100 Ned Flanderses. I don't.
Sounds delightful.
The marching and the chanting and the putting your ring into a drink and chugging it, it's too much for me. It's too much for me. So.
Tommy's a Celtics fan calling other fans too much. Yeah, well, he's got the green hoodie and the giant Blarney O'Blarney hat on. Honestly, let me be
but we're at least mean. You know what I mean? Like you have a
those
reason.
Texas A&M fans are just way too much with the stuff. Like seriously, why don't they just take a chill pill and wear something casual for a change?
Just ridiculous.
I have a hard time understanding how they can even put on something like that and act so normal.
It's nonsense. It doesn't even make any sense.
Touché, Blarney.
Yeah, so. I'm out on them. I'm glad they're out. Go Nittany Lions. What's a Nittany Lion?
I just picked the Penn State Nittany Lions in the college football school draft. And my exact reasoning was I've never met a shitty Penn State fan. They're all just nice.
Yeah. They just
So
want
it's
to party.
kind of the opposite point of what you were making, Goop.
They just want to party and wear white. I like Penn State. They're cool. They're down with the get down.
Down with the
Down
get down.
get down. Well, it's the battle of JL's favorite fan base versus Scoop's Leaf favorite fan base. We'll see.
Favorite fan base. I don't know about all that.
JL's.
I don't know about all that.
I don't know about all that.
I like to talk in extremes.
JL's best friends. Yeah.
Furman's gonna win.
Ultimatum.
That was just you bringing us to an extreme.
The trick to the NCAA bracket is to pick a team that no one else is going to pick to win, like a 5 seed, and then just as long as they're still in it, you just say to yourself, "Well, if this team wins, then I'll win the whole thing." Right? That's the secret to keeping your hopes alive. Like, okay, sure, I lost 4 teams from my Elite 8 already, but if TCU wins the whole thing, then I'm the only one that's got
to go.
I'm in the money.
Do you guys know a 5 seed or a 1 seed has won the tournament for the last 5 tournaments? So 5 tournaments in a row, it has been the 1 seed.
It has felt chalk. Lately.
And then before that, 2016 was the 2 seed, Villanova. And then back to that, another 1 seed. So of the last 7 champions, there's been 1 non-1 seed, and it was 2 seed Villanova in 2016 over 1 seed UNC on the other side of the bracket. So it's been a pretty chalk series of tournaments when it comes to the finals, like the champion.
Yeah, yet still every idiot in Providence is like, we should have been a 10 seed instead of an 11 seed. Oh my God. Like, shut up, dude. Like, you're not in the tournament, dude. Like, it's not happening. Yeah. It is funny to me how like it seems like the 8 and 9 seed is almost worse than being like an 11 seed. Is that because I mean it's like
your
basically
first round matchup is easier, but if you win, you have a much harder road to the finals. I read an article last year that talked about which seeds have the easiest path to the finals.
Ooh.
And there's something to what you're saying. Like the 10 and 11 seed do have an easier path than that 8-9 seed because after that first round, they go straight to face the 1 seed in round 2.
They get the honor of getting steamrolled by Purdue. But yeah. So do you remember anything from that article about like,
Nope.
so like 11, 12? Oh, cool. All right. Nice. So listeners out there, see if you could find this obscure article that Simon kind of remembers reading. And there might be something interesting in there.
Maybe.
Good morning. Happy St. Patrick's Day.
Albert in here. So good morning, everyone. He said, Simon, do you like Drake over Miami today?
I'm trying not to make too many calls because I felt pretty good about that.
You don't want to be wrong.
I do have Drake over Miami in my bracket, but it was one that I faltered between, and I have Drake losing in the next round anyways.
There you have it, folks. Simon with his next big pick. He is slam planting his flag on Miami today.
No, Drake, you idiot.
Drake.
If you're going to give me an extreme take, put it on the right side.
Liquidate all your assets. Put it on Drake. We're taking Drake, right? Not Miami. Yeah.
Kenyon Drake. Let's go.
There you go. Kenyon Drake. Lock it in. All right. There it is. There's Simon's hot pick of the day.
Hot pasta pick of the day.
Hot pasta sloppy tea pick of the day. All right. I think that's some basketball talk, right?
That concludes basketball talk.
That concludes b-ball.
Round ball.
Wait, one more basketball talk. I'm so sorry. Did you guys see the video of the new airless basketball prototype from Wilson?
No.
It looks like this 3D printed grid of like hexagons. It's all black, and the thing looks sick. They say it's exact weight, shape, and size as an actual basketball. Wilson was tasked with creating like the next generation of basketball. They gave it to this one engineer, and they worked with a company that like 3D prints medical devices and things like that to help create this prototype. You should go watch the video because it looks sick. But also, if you notice in the video, they don't dribble it a single time.
What?
I did not. Wilson put the video out, but I did not see you dribble that ball.
See, that feels like the first thing. Yeah, it's gotta be the first thing you do. That's what we're all waiting for. Come on.
They're still working that part out.
Right? Like I've seen them shoot it, which like, it was going through the air pretty nice. Like toss it back and forth, looking good. Hold it out like this.
You could put a lot of different shapes in the air.
Exactly, but I haven't seen a single person dribble the ball. I haven't seen it hit the ground and come back up to meet the hand one time.
Seems like it'd be the one thing that would stop it from moving forward.
I agree,
especially if athletes don't like the way that feels.
But the idea of an airless basketball is sweet. You never have to worry about like just from.
I feel like they had that when we were kids, but it just didn't work very well. Like you had the little like pump on it. It was like anti deflate basketball, and it just kind of bounced less than the rest of the balls.
Yeah, it went flat.
No air, all
flat easier. The one where you had to like you had to like take your nail and like twist the thing and then it popped out and then you could go like that. Yeah, that's just a ball that's a ball that is a flat more than the rest of them, no question.
I think a benefit of doing it this way is that now, regardless of altitude, regardless of location, regardless of home or away, regardless who provided the balls in the NBA, every ball would feel and bounce exactly the same if they were able to figure this out, right? Because in Denver, at higher altitude, it may be different than playing a game in Miami. The ball does change. It's air pressure inside of there. So it would create consistency across the league in that regard. But
or we just don't play in Denver.
Or we just ban Denver from all professional sports for the time being until they can figure out how to fix that altitude problem.
Yeah, Denver.
Flatten your city. Dig a hole. They build an underground stadium.
You have to take an elevator down.
That'd be kind of dope. They'd have to figure out the fire escape situation, but
that would be a pretty big problem to solve.
Yeah. Well, I mean, they've already invented a airless basketball. I mean, it should be easy enough to solve that problem too.
Dave said at Denver, getting them in the chat. Bring them in while we're taking shots.
Yeah, don't tag them, please.
They get so rude in the morning.
They'll sick blues.
Probably because it's so early there.
So there was a very not bizarre, but odd quote from Adam Schefter yesterday about the first overall pick. He came in and said, Bryce Young is believed to be the favorite for the Panthers at number 1 as of right now. His direct quote was, I think Bryce Young is to the Panthers what Mac Jones was to the 49ers when they traded up. That is the direct quote from Adam Schefter. I think Bryce Young is to the Panthers what Mac Jones was to the 49ers when they traded up.
Who said that?
Adam Schefter.
What? What is he doing?
Right? I think what he's saying is that the 49ers legitimately did want Mac Jones, but prior to the draft, changed their mind.
Interesting. So they traded up with that was kind of a rumor floating around that the 49ers traded up with Mac. When they did the trade, it was for Mac Jones, but then they made the old swapperoo. That's interesting because the reason that I thought that CJ Stroud was the team they had in mind when they traded up is because the lines changed. You guys saw that, right?
Yeah.
Where it was like Bryce Young was the heavy favorite and CJ Stroud was like, plus 200. And then it flipped so heavily that CJ Stroud ended up being like minus 400, which anyone not familiar with betting terms means you need to bet $400 to win 100. That's how big the odds were there. So it's kind of interesting that he now comes and says, well, they actually did make the trade for Bryce Young, but now they're leaning towards somebody else. It kind of that is a very strange thing to tweet, unless he actually did hear from somebody in the know.
Oh, it wasn't even tweeted. He said it on TV, on a show, on NFL, on ESPN. It was a quote from that show where Schefter dropped it.
Interesting.
Dave said, "Sounds like an FYF game show." The quote: I think Bryce Young is to the Panthers what Mac Jones was to the blank when they traded up.
Oh, I like that.
NFL analogies.
Schefter was just playing. He was playing vague descriptions.
Yeah, Simon, you just brought back like a whole flood of memories about those analogy questions in school. Did you ever get those like on standardized tests?
Oh yeah, the SAT was full of analogies.
Yeah. Man, I forgot about this.
Blank is to blank. What blank is to blank.
I was good at those.
Just do a segment called SATs.
Ooh, I like it.
SAT
Just
prep.
Prep. Yeah,
with
we
the
just prep.
boys.
The boys, dude.
I like that idea. We'll just get like Hutch in here. We'll just prep them.
Hutch, dude, that's the crazy thing about Hutch is that his takes are so good. Like he knows his stuff, right? So I'll see his tweets, right?
Yeah, we're talking about Hutchinson Brown, who's a fantasy analyst in the space, who's also in high school.
Yeah, so like I'll hear him on Sirius XM, like he'll go on with Howard. His takes are good, and I'll follow him on Twitter, right? And I'll see, I'm like scrolling through, and then I'll see a tweet that's like, "Just put gas in my car for the first time." And it reminds me, that Hutch like is not only a great analyst, but he's very young too. It is funny. Yeah. I'm reading his take on David Montgomery, and then he's like, just drove for the first time.
I'm imagining us once a week having a high schooler on and just berating them with SAT advice for 30 minutes and then kicking them off. And we're all talking at the same time. And Coop's saying, like, if you don't know, guess C. And I'm saying, like, if you don't know, do not guess. And
Isosceles triangle.
What's number 32?
Yeah, I don't know.
Response section.
Should you guess or should you not guess? I forget.
You should not guess. You don't get penalized for ones you leave blank, but you get penalized for incorrect answers. Unless then you can't. Since I was in high school.
But my brain was like, while I was taking the SATs, I was like, I'm getting a perfect score. So my brain was like not okay with not putting anything down. It's like you're setting yourself up for mediocrity.
What do you want to own a used car dealership?
Yeah. Nobody remembers the guy that got every question right except 2.
Coop takes my bracket methodology to the SAT. Like, I'm not going for a good score. I'm going for perfect.
I'm going for glory.
Going big, dude. That's right.
Go big or go home.
This is best ball. You take it twice, okay? And one of the times, shoot for the moon. That's my advice. This has been SAT talk. Thank you.
Welcome back,
Blarney.
Blarney. You've been blarneyed.
Well, speaking of the letter T, tight end Robert Tonyan signed a 1-year deal with the Bears. The Bears are continuing to load up, add another tight end to that roster. Coop, should the Cole Kmet truthers be worried with Bobby Tonyan, Fun Tonyan, getting put on that roster over there?
I'll tell you what, dude. Cole Kmet truthers should have been worried the moment they added DJ Moore because they already had Darnell Mooney. The real thing is I've seen people on Twitter that are excited for Robert Tonyan, and I'm wondering in what world. Like this guy was you realize he just played with Aaron Rodgers and a bunch of rookies, and he did just north of 0. So now he's going to go to the team that just traded the first overall pick for wide receiver that was dead last in pass attempts last year, and he's going to be awesome. I mean, I'm not seeing it. Are you boys seeing it?
I'm seeing it.
You're seeing it, J.O. Paint me the picture. Paint me the picture. Paint me the Bobby Funyuns picture of how this guy who's never had more than 65 targets is gonna. There it is.
How'd you like that picture?
What'd you paint?
Bobby Tonyan's naked on the beach in France on a Wednesday.
What is he holding?
A candelabra.
Ooh. And in the other hands?
Yeah. I don't know where he got that. Classic French item.
Classic French candelabra. Well, I mean,
always find those on your French beaches.
Yeah, I mean, when you put it like that, I'll move him up 2 spots in the rankings.
Thank you.
So he goes from 78 to 76 in my tight end rankings. You did
tight end 65.
You did it.
That's probably a little low, but that's
probably a little.
It's irrelevant. Probably a little low, but probably not enough to matter that much. I'm not too interested in Bobby Trees. There's too many mouths to feed in that offense. And it was an offense that bears through the ball. Yeah, that's a different guy. That's Robert Woods.
Yeah.
I'll call him Bobby Tree Trunks.
There you go. There you go.
This is not because his legs are so thick.
Yeah, he's got those tree trunks for legs.
Yeah, Robert Tonyan. People are asking me Robert Tonyan versus. It's an opportunity to maybe trade Robert Tonyan because somebody said his name out loud on TV, but like I'm not sure what's going to happen here. You know, it's like people are asking me Robert Tunyon versus Cole Kmet, and my answer in redraft is who the hell cares? Like it's just not a good spot. Look,
Such a rude answer to it.
yeah, it is kind of. I've been trying to be nicer on Twitter lately. It hasn't been going great. I said it like 2 weeks ago. I said I want to be nicer on Twitter, and then I got in an argument with somebody like 2 days ago, and Laquan DM'd me, and he just said 0 days since last incident.
0 days since the last incident.
But I've been trying to be better. It's just like, don't ask me stupid questions, okay?
Coop, let's make a deal. You be nicer on Twitter, and I'm going to be nicer to ChatGPT.
There you go.
You be getting in tussles with
God,
with
the fight
with
we
robots
got in yesterday. It was preposterous. Just testing my limits, trying to tell me that 2021 was after 2023. I'll fight your ass, ChatGPT. Admit your mistakes. That's all I ask. Be valiant.
One thing I ask.
We got Dustin in
Be
here
human.
saying, "What is that hat?"
That's Barney O'Blarney. Top of the morning
That's-
to you, Dusty.
A person.
That's a man with a beard.
That's Blarney.
That's
That's a
old Barney.
leprechaun.
Barney O'Blarney.
I'm excited for the brackets we got today.
Yeah.
Irish folklore battle royale. Oh
Should
my
be a good
goodness.
one. Please tell me that
I'm going to play the Leprechaun series of horror movies in the background today while I'm
The
doing
whole
my
time.
work. Those are so bad. Have you seen them?
No.
God,
I
they're
put-
awful.
can I swap somebody out for Uncle Grimacy? No.
Absolutely not.
He would dominate this bracket.
He would just consume all. He would absorb
How about-
all into his shamrock.
how about-
belly.
Too powerful.
How about this? Appease me and Dustin and then Jay and the boys. Whoever wins the bracket has one last bonus round, 1v1 versus Uncle Grimacy. Is that fair?
We can put it on Twitter. We'll let the people vote. If the winner of this bracket would then face off against Uncle O'Grimacy in the boss fight. That's too important of a decision for us to make.
Yeah. Okay.
But we can take the winner of the bracket and put a picture up and have them face off. See what the
This is-
people think.
This is the tournament of champions to see who goes up against the big boss.
The final boss. There's
Okay.
always a final
like it.
boss.
I like it.
Always.
Feeling good about it.
Okay. We've talked quite a bit about the Bears additions today, but just to highlight everything, Adam Hodge tweeted out yesterday, in the last 7 days, the Bears have added wide receiver DJ Moore, LB Tremaine Edmonds. I'm not going to read all the positions, just going to throw them out there. TJ Edwards, Nate Davis, DeMarcus Walker, Travis Homer, PJ Walker, Andrew Billings, Robert Tunyon, Deonta Foreman, a 2023 second, a 2024 first, and a 2025 second round pick. It's in a week. Those Bears have been busy since free agency started.
Flying around. He also didn't mention the outgoing is a lot of money and the first round pick, the first overall pick. But yeah, I kind of like what they're doing there. Especially beefing up the line. Like Nate Davis is rock solid guy to add. 3 years, 10 million, 3 years, 30 million. So 10 million a year. I think that's a pretty good deal. Anytime you can juice up what is a pretty poor O line, it feels good. Like those are the moves that as a fantasy fan, we look for the big splashes, but as fans of the actual team, you want to see these moves. You want to see the guards, the tackles, right? So,
Justin Fields was running for his life last year, and David Montgomery was just getting clobbered behind the line of scrimmage on every single play.
Yeah,
sure.
Yeah. It's just positive. The Bears, the new Eagles, like I've been saying, they're the new Eagles.
the new Eagles. I like that.
The old Eagles are old. The new Eagles
Yeah.
are Bears. Bears are the new
Eagles
Eagles.
out.
Hell
Bears in.
And
From roar to wah!
Eagles are so good morning, everybody. The Eagles are so
Chicago
last
Bears
year.
story.
Eagles are so last year.
The
So
Chicago
last
Bear
year.
Goals.
The Bear goals. Yeah.
Dave in here said instead of busy bees, busy bears. Oh, those
Busy Bears.
have been busy.
Yeah.
Talking
The,
Bears and the Bees.
I also like what the Falcons have been doing. We're gonna have Dio Ledbetter on later today to talk a little bit about that. I also think the 49ers have done okay. They were able to. I mean, they lost Mike McGlinchey, which not
Favorite name in the NFL.
Oh, McGlinchey.
me. Michael McGlinchey. Michael McGlinchey. I'm so bad
That's
at the
me,
Irish
brother.
accent. That's
Oh, wow. Turns out I cannot do an Irish accent. I'm not going to try again in case I offend anyone.
Give it a try, JL.
We need Dr. Microanalysis in here. He does the Irish accent all the time.
Get him on.
Oh,
Yeah, so they lost, but they got Javon Hargrave. They re-signed Jake Brendel. They beefed up their quarterback core with Sammy Darnold. So I don't know, kind of like what they're doing there. Well, we'll see. But that defense is going to be mean.
The darn dog.
The darn man. Have you guys seen the subreddit The Darnold before?
No.
Oh boy, it is awesome. It's
I can imagine what it is just based off the name.
You know what it is?
I'm just imagining.
It is basically there was a Trump subreddit called The Donald, and The Darnold is a Trump.
That, but Sam Darnold.
It's that, but Sam Darnold. So, for instance, the Raiders extended Jerry Tillery yesterday, and one of the top posts is Raiders extend crooked Tillery even after the rigged game against Faker Mayfield and the radical left Rams.
Pretty good. That's pretty good.
Many smart people are saying it, folks. They need to drain the swamp in both Tampa and Vegas. Sad. That's one of the top posts. And they're all like,
in the top post right now is my fellow 14-Niners. Look how handsome he is. I'll kiss him. Just a video of him, but they changed the name to the 14-Niners.
It's just, dude, Reddit is the best and the worst. Yeah. But Sam Darnold, I don't know. Do you guys think they're just getting a third quarterback, or they're gearing up to maybe move one of Purdy or Lance? How are you guys feeling about the move?
I feel like they're just getting a third quarterback. If it makes sense for any single team, it makes sense for the 49ers. They're not going to be in a rush to eliminate quarterback depth through a trade unless
not after last season.
Beneficial. That's what I'm saying. Like they're going to have to get a pretty good offer, I feel like, to part ways with one of Trey Lance or Brock Purdy, because having two quarterbacks on their roster they trust is a big plus for them.
The 49ers going into the season with three essentially starting quarterbacks is the most predictable outcome that we could have seen, right? Like they're gonna overreact to that game last year. There's no way they're going into the season with just two quarterbacks.
No, yeah, I mean, it's one of those things where, because if the quarterbacks get hurt again and you're not prepared, then you have the fan revolt on your hands, right? So you kind of have to at that point.
Yeah, Shanahan, he leveraged himself for this season and the next season, right? This is Shanahan who has been pushing this off for years and has not really been on the hot seat. Feels like he got to a point where he's like, all right, well, it's now or never. Let me go get CMC. Let me go get these pieces, acquire this. Let's go for a run. And then it all ends like that. Oh, brutal.
Yikes.
Dustin in here saying Purdy won't be cleared till September, and Darnold's contract has $1 million in weekly roster bonuses. So it's set up to cut him when Purdy is ready to back up Lance. So he gets $1 million every week he's on that team. So that does make sense. It would probably make sense to cut him once Purdy's ready to come back.
Yeah.
I just picture like Purdy comes back and he like grabs a broom and he's like, see, I'm still helping out around here. You don't gotta cut old Sammy just yet. One more week. And he's like mopping the floor. One more week for old Sammy. What do you boys say?
I can make that money another way. I don't have to play quarterback.
Anybody need food? Anybody thirsty?
Just like clinging to a pole in the locker room. Right? They're just like trying to drag.
George Kittle has his feet on the other end.
Just throwing him away.
He's tickling him.
Yeah.
I mean, Sam, you're embarrassing yourself.
For $1 million a week, I'm handcuffing myself to the bench, dude. I'm like, yeah, I'm not going anywhere.
They're like, we just voided your contract. It's you can't stay here.
We like to say it, but I imagine Sam Darnold likes to say, Sam, darn it, whenever something bad happens.
Darn it.
Sam, you can cut. Sam, darn it.
Did you just say Sam, darn it? Yeah.
You're still cut.
Darn it. Ow.
So other large news was there were rumors of it happening, and it finally seems to be official. Ezekiel Elliott released by the Cowboys. I looked at his numbers. Yeah, I looked at his numbers. He had the most fantasy points of any back during the 7 years he was there, more than anybody else. Where do you guys think he lands? What's a good landing spot for Mr. Zeke Elliott now that he can go anywhere he wants and sign any kind of contract he wants?
The Bills.
Yes.
Oh,
Dustin, would you like that? Would you like
of course,
Zeke?
Dustin would like that. Who wouldn't like that?
Also,
I know.
Dustin corrected me, not 1 million a week. That makes a lot more sense. 1 million total over the season, spaced out over weeks. Yeah, if they were giving Sam
1
Darnold
million a week.
just slowly inching his contract up. He's got that guaranteed money, but by the end of the year, it's going to be another 18 million, baby.
Right.
I like the idea that they just paid him this super high
monster contract. Yeah.
yeah, like wow. Where they're just playing chicken basically each week.
I mean, we've seen contracts like that. Tyrell Williams once signed a contract, I think without an agent, that was like, it was something insane where like every season he played, it was a long contract. Every season he played for the team, they would give him $11 million, but every year he could be cut for 0 dead cap. So it was basically just like, if I earn my way on this team, you guys got to pay me. And he was an undrafted free agent originally. So $11 million just once is life-changing money, right? So like he was like, I'm the ultimate prove it deal. Like you either pay me everything or you just cut me. And he actually he survived a couple of years on that deal, and then they did cut him. But I mean, a couple of years on that, he made $22 million or 20. I think he stayed for 3 years. So pretty good deal. Pretty good deal. Yeah.
Simon, you asked where Zeke would land, where would be a good spot, and I think I found the answer.
That was me.
That was you.
Cowboys?
The answer is Philadelphia.
Ooh.
Zeke on Philly.
Yes.
That O-line, the best O-line in the league.
If they signed him, I would just all caps, ha 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 ha. Just and a picture of Rashad Penny is what I would say. That's what I'd post on Twitter. And then tomorrow I'll start being nice. Yeah. But I mean, it's not crazy because they only paid Rashad Penny $1.3 million, right? Like, I'm sorry, but that's not exactly a super confident contract. I mean, the Patriots paid Jimmy O. Robinson 2 years, $8 million, right? That one came down to like, do we talk about that deal yet? It's all blur. It's all blur. So they paid.
I see it before you go on to the other deal. Just wrapping up this Zeke part is I could see this happening. I could see Zeke being maybe a little disenfranchised from this whole situation, want to go to Philly. That kind of gives a little stab back in the side of old Jerry Jones there, going to a division rival. And then on top of that, I think he kind of fits their scheme. Gosh, you Simon, scheme got me saying scheme. What's the matter with you? Scheme. He fits their scheme though. I think that he would be a value add to the team, and I think it would be positive for him. It'd be a really good situation.
Yeah, because I mean, if you really think about it, they threw the fewest passes of any team to the running back last year, but at this point, Zeke is more of a ground and pound guy. So takes the pressure off Jalen Hurts a little bit, and he doesn't have to worry too much about catching passes. I mean, pretty good, JL.
And with the amount of time Zeke's been in the league and the accolades that he already has, there's one accolade missing from that stat sheet, and that's a Super Bowl.
So Super Bowl contender.
He's done a lot in this league, but he has not gotten a Super Bowl. So I could see him maybe taking something a little friendlier. He made the most money out of, like, look at what he's made over his career compared to Derrick Henry, Christian McCaffrey, some of these other guys. He made some serious money. I believe over $70 million. I saw in a tweet yesterday. He's good. He may just want that ring, and Philly may be a good spot for him to go try to get it. I'm saying the Bills too. I'm buying in with you guys. I think he ends up on a contender for sure. Like one of these teams that's in contention. And the 49ers already have a CMC.
The way this offseason's been going with teams just signing redundant assets, he'll probably end up on the Lions. Like it really is like, it's like, what are these teams doing? Why, like you need Jacoby Myers and Hunter Renfrow. Why did the Giants need Paris Campbell? Like, why are you signing? They have Paris Campbell, Sterling Shepard, and Wan'Dale Robinson to play the slot. Good job, guys. Excited to see what that looks like. What are we doing?
We got Joey in here saying, I have a similar deal with Front Yard Fantasy. $1 million a year, 0 cap hit for cutting me. But if I get cut, Jay adds another baby. So that is the deal. That is written in contract.
Yeah.
Odd that we didn't have to have Jay sign that, even though he was a participant.
Yeah, that is a loophole in the system that we love taking advantage of.
You can just add other people's names to contracts, and then they're legally obligated by it.
Yeah, you should see the
Makes
stuff that
sense.
Jay. You should see the stuff that Jay Wall has to do if I get cut. And they're just nasty things.
We got Adam in here, so can't wait to get me some corned beef and cabbage.
Hell yeah. I'm a big
Enjoy your
fan.
St. Patrick's Day, and I will not judge others' food choices, though I will not be eating corned beef and cabbage today.
Me neither.
We have a corned beef in the fridge ready to rock. A second one that we're hiding from Barney O'Blarney because he had one this morning himself. But I am fired up for corned beef and cabbage. Love it.
I know people love corned beef.
Let's get a poll going in the chat. I want to see. Can we get a YouTube poll going? I want to see if people like corned beef and cabbage or not. I'm a fan. Huge fan.
You like corned beef and cabbage?
Yes, that's
Someone
the poll.
Smash
The poll is just, hey, how you feel about corned beef and cabbage?
corned beef and
Good?
cabbage, yay or
Not
nay?
good.
Open response. No, open response.
Yeah, just it's an essay question.
Rate a
250 words
quick,
minimum.
yeah, 250 word minimum on corned beef and cabbage. Let us know how you feel in the chat. Tommy does not like it. I don't know. I figured Tommy would be a corn. If I had to guess, I would have guessed that you were in. Surprised that you're out. And disappointed. Surprised and disappointed is how I would say. Yeah, Irish soda bread. Awesome. Good call, Tommy. We have some Irish soda bread going. You guys see that Tampa Bay signed Chase Edmonds. Any interest in Mr. Chase Edmonds? Do you think that affects Rachaad White at all, or is that just kind of a depth signing for those fellas over there?
I don't believe that Chase Edmonds is that good.
Yeah.
And so I don't think it affects him too much. I think this is just news. I don't think this will actually impact his usage there.
Chase Edmonds seems like he's entering the plug and play veteran era of his career. We have a hole. Let's grab a veteran who knows what he's doing. He can come in and be serviceable. Like Latavius Murray, right? Kind of bouncing around teams. Maybe it's a bit early for Chase Edmonds, but maybe his talent level was a little lower to start with. And as he's getting older, that's what role he's going to be relegated to. I know, Coop, you were a little bit excited about his potential on the Broncos before he got cut until Javonte Williams came back. Does any of that excitement carry over with this new signing or no?
So that excitement really had cold water poured on it because Chase Edmonds, so he had a deal where he could, because they claimed him off waivers, they had no dead cap tied to him. So they could cut him for $6 million in savings or keep him with zero, and they could cut him with zero dead cap. He came out and said that he wanted to stay with the Broncos, and his agent even said, we know we need to restructure the deal to stay, and they still cut him anyway, and then signed Samaje Perine. So the fact that they had Chase Edmonds there, who was there kind of around the team, and they could have kept him on a reasonable deal and decided not to, it's hard to get excited about that guy going to another team. I think I'm all in on Rachaad White. I think Rachaad White, to a certain degree, pulled a Alvin Kamara, where Alvin Kamara was buried his rookie year, not only behind Mark Ingram, but I think people forget they actually also had Adrian Peterson at the time. And Alvin Kamara kind of brute forced his way onto the field, basically running back kicks and for touchdowns. And they traded Adrian Peterson away and then let him split the job. Rachaad White
did.
Yeah, let's go, baby. And Rachaad White last year did kind of the same thing. They had Leonard Fournette, and he worked his way, onto the field to the point where he was the starter at the end of the year. So I love seeing that. That's what you want to see. You don't want to see a guy that like backdoors his way into the job and doesn't really do a whole lot like Chuba Hubbard the last few years. You want to see a guy that is so good that they put him out there even though they have a starter in place. So I think Rachaad White at this point, that's his backfield, and Chase Edmonds is just kind of hanging out.
It's
Makes
fair,
sense.
yeah.
I'm with you,
Rachaad
Coop.
White.
You know how I feel about Rachaad White and Chase Edmonds. Maybe you didn't know how I felt about Chase Edmonds, but I don't view him as much of a threat to Rachaad White. It seems like a complimentary piece. Now, had they gotten a guy more in the prototype of Leonard Fournette, you know what I mean? Had they brought in another guy like that, like had they signed Deonta Foreman, maybe then I would have been a little bit more concerned, even though Chase Edmonds and Deonta Foreman are on that same tier for me. But the type of back Chase Edmonds says to me, he's a little bit more safety for Rachaad White instead of like a supplementary back.
Well, I mean, the main reason I'm in on Rachaad White is that we know that Simon is the gatekeeper of the hype trains. Whenever there's a new hype train player, Simon will review it carefully and decide whether we should get on board or not.
He's the hype train conductor.
The hype train conductor. Yes, he's more of the hype train inspector.
I'm the
Hype trains-
ticket puncher. I'm the guy with the whole punch going on.
Tickets?
Tickets,
Get
please.
your tickets out.
Tickets.
They
Tickets.
show they show up to
Get
the
off at
station.
the next stop if you don't have your tickets.
Right. But when it's a bad one, like
This is a Christine Michael ticket. Off the train.
Off the train. Everyone off the train.
Break his
don't,
leg.
don't board that train. It's going to Nowheresville. Right. So, but you
Is that little
approve.
Smudge Peterson on the
Is that-
intercom?
Smudge Peterson here on the intercom. We're going next stop, Nowheresville.
Tommy earlier in the chat just came in with the smudge Mick Peterson.
Smudge McPeterson. Oh
McPeterson.
god, it makes it so much creepier.
Yeah, but no,
Smudge
but
McPeterson.
you have been good at that, Simon, because it's so easy to jump on every hype train. But you correctly were on the Damian Baby Pierce hype train. You were on the Tyler Algier hype train. You were on the Rashad White hype train. You avoided many other hype trains. So as soon as I got that Simon train punch of approval, I was in.
Be careful. I got my misses.
They're
Darnell
misses.
Mooney. But we're I don't think it's happening this year either with all of the weapons that they added. We may never get that season that I predicted from him last year.
Don't you know how this works, Simon? The moment Darnell Mooney got hurt, you're supposed to pretend
I
the
was
rest.
absolved.
You pretend the rest of it never happened, and you just say he got hurt.
That's right. It's
All
like every
those-
rookie tight end I've fallen in love with and then pretend like I didn't even know their name 3 years later.
Right. It's like you look at his game log and see that he played 16 out of 17 games, and you're like, well, he got hurt. So
He was
No.
injured, clearly.
he was clearly injured. So next time, it's like Daniel Bellinger, he didn't get vaporized by Darren Waller. He hurt his eye.
His eye popped out of his head, didn't it?
Yeah, exactly. So, I mean, not our fault.
Why did we say that?
Oops. Jay, we got a lot of corned beef and cabbage fans in the chat to the point where Jay says it's amazing, and Adam says this is a hot take, better than Thanksgiving dinner. And I honestly, I'm not going to say you're wrong. I'm not going to say you're right, but I'm not necessarily going to say you're wrong.
What are you gonna say?
I'm going to say that
Ooh,
I like.
ha.
I like. Who got chalk? Who got chalk? No, I'm going to say I like them both. Love them, in fact. And I can't choose between my babies.
Simon, I feel like you would fit perfectly in that aquarium in Finding Nemo
With all the fish.
with all
Like,
those fish
I'd be
characters.
another
Like,
character.
you'd be a perfect character for that.
I feel like that'd be a squad that I'd vibe with. Know what I mean? Like
Right?
all the fish in there, I feel like I'd get along with all of them. Like Gil, I respect you, Gil. Know what I mean? Like he's real. He's serious, but he's real. Bubbles, I get it. Know what I mean? I too love Bubbles. Bubbles. We got this Dory. I don't know where my keys are right now. So we got something to bond over in this very moment. We both forget things. It's all right. And then, of course, Nemo. Who could forget Nemo?
Who could forget Nemo? You can't forget
Oh
Nemo.
boy.
Marlon kind of forgot Nemo.
Dustin, breaking news in the chat. It is confirmed on Twitter. Mike Garofalo, I've been tagged now multiple times in this.
Mike Garofalo?
Yeah, Mike Garofalo. He's a Patriots beat writer. Not just Patriots now. I think he does everything now. But Patriots have agreed to a 1-year term with tight end Mike Gesicki.
Whoa.
You're excited.
You said Patriots?
Yeah, Patriots, baby.
How do you feel about that? Because I thought you don't like the Gesicki guy.
I like him. No, I like him. I want him to play slot somewhere, and that's what he's going to be doing for New England. Interesting. It definitely hurts Hunter
The
Henry.
yak hole.
Yeah. It probably hurts Mike Gesicki, but Patriots got a player, and I'm a Patriots fan, so I like it. It will be interesting to see. He's probably going to line up almost exclusively in the slot, I feel. Right?
And then catch the ball and fall down.
Yeah, not really.
The yak hole.
The
Excited
yak
Patriots
hole.
fans, the yak hole is coming to Boston. Now, don't get me wrong. He's a good tight end. I feel like I disparage him too much with the yak hole. Yards after contact is just one metric of success at that position. With how athletic he is, I expected him to be more of a yards after catch kind of guy. Like after he catches that ball, I expected more from him after just based on his measurables coming out of college. But he's not that dude. We've seen it in the NFL now. That doesn't mean he's not a good tight end. He's still just as athletic. He's still just as big bodied. He's still a good option for whoever's throwing the ball there in New England. But he's not going to be exciting and flashy and have those big breakaway runs like we see George Kittle have sometimes.
Yeah, it's well, that's the thing is that if he could break away, he would have them because he's as fast as Kittle, but he missed tackles has always been the problem, and that's that he's not missing any of them. If maybe he'll figure that out a little bit, but he really cannot break tackles. So
100% catch rate.
100% catch rate,
And
100%,
tackles.
100% tackle rate. Yeah, he's basically Mike Vrabel.
Catching all them tackles.
But we'll see. We'll see what goes down. But I like it. I like it. The Patriots are loading up on because Juju's a really good run blocker too. Now they can have Mike Gesicki out of the slot, Hunter Henry in line. Looks like they're gearing up to run the football a lot. So I like it for the Patriots. For fantasy football, not that great. I wanted him to go to the Packers. That's where he would be able to run young and wild and free. Yeah, if he could, because he would have been like Christian Watson on the outside and Romeo Doubs on the other side, and then Gesicki in the slot. But now we just hope that one of these rookies, exciting young rookies, goes to the Packers where he can get targets right away. That's a lot of fun.
Yeah.
We'll see. We'll see. Well, with that being said, you guys ready to get into our daily Weddle? See if we can keep our streak alive. We've yet to lose, though yesterday we were not on our game so much. We made some simple mistakes.
The day before, we got it in 2.
The day before we got it in 2. But I'm just saying, like, let's not get cocky just because we've gotten every single one. That's when you lose. All of a sudden, you've got a 198-day streak on Wordle and you're not paying attention. Word 6 flies by. Your streak's dead.
Get wrecked.
In honor of St. Patrick's Day, let's pick a player who has a Irish-sounding name.
O'Shaughnessy. Isn't there an O'Shaughnessy in the NFL?
He's no longer in the NFL. As of right now, he's
McFarland. Anthony McFarland Jr. Jerick McKinnon.
Ooh, McFarland. McCaffrey. How about
McCoy.
Ray McLeod.
Ray McLeod.
I'm all about Ray McLeod. Do you want to pick Ray McLeod?
Oh, let's pick Ray.
Let's do Ray.
Okay.
Ray.
They are not in the NFC, so in the AFC, not a wide receiver, much taller than 5'9", so at least 6 foot. And then they are close to 26, so 27 or 28, and their number is much higher than 3, so at least 6. So we've got a 27 or 28-year-old in the AFC who's not a wide receiver and is 6 foot tall. Could literally be any of the positions. Running back is less likely.
What's Josh Allen's number?
Tommy in the chat with famous Irish basketball player Shaquille O'Neal.
Yeah.
Shaquille
O'Neal.
What's Josh Allen's?
16.
So that checks everything.
Fit.
You want to try Josh Allen?
I mean, if that's his actual number, I mean, I just kind of guessed.
17, which 17. Works. So AFC East is correct, but Buffalo is not. 6'5" is correct, but QB is wrong. Josh Allen is 26, so it's probably a 27 and 28-year-old tight end in the AFC East.
28-year-old in the AFC East. So is this Gesicki?
Hunter Henry's 20. Gesicki's not 6. Oh, actually, he might be 6'5".
Is it Gesicki?
Could
because
be.
even on the Dolphins, know what I mean? Like, even if it's
what's his number? I don't remember.
80 something. It might be 80 flat. It might be 80 flat. 88 maybe. Did we guess him?
You want to go for Gesicki?
Put him in there.
Oh, that's right.
Gesicki. Let's see. Okay, AFC East is correct. Tight end is correct. He's too tall. So we know this player is 28 now. They are exactly 28, and their number is lower than 88.
Hunter Henry's 28.
Hunter Henry?
Yeah. Let's get Hunter Henry in there.
Phil, you want to try Hunter Henry?
Yeah, let's do it.
Hunter Henry is correct.
Hunter Henry. Hey, we have a Hunter in the hen house, boys.
Guys, we are 21 for 21, 100%. This is 3 full weeks worth of puzzles.
How are we so smart?
We don't miss. We don't miss.
Amazing.
Man, hurts being this smart.
Have we even gotten to like
hurts.
6 guesses or 7?
I think 5 was our longest.
Maybe we need to move the goalpost for what's a win or not for this squad. We're too good. Too smart.
I don't define the win. Weddle defines the win.
I love how
I'm a winner. I'm a winner.
I love how we're too smart, and Dustin's in the chat like, don't do the hard Weddle. You guys are too stupid to get it.
Who dumb?
We're the idiots who are like, freaking killed it, while the experts are standing in the background just laughing at you.
I usually do it during the break or whatever, and a lot of days I'm like, who in the heck is this guy? Right? You know, and then I look it up and he's like the best player at defensive tackle, and he's like, just got $100 million contract. I'm like, oh, okay, cool.
Oh,
I'll remember that name. I'll put that in the name bank.
In the name bank. Well, guys, coming up to put in your content bank, we've got some more games. We're going to play some Feeling Lucky Punk. And then we have special guest Dio Ledbetter joining the show for a segment we call the Beat Scoop. We're going to be talking to him about the Atlanta Falcons. You do not want to miss that. We're going to play some Fast Guy Quick Time and have an Irish folklore battle royale with our friend Tim a little bit later today as well. So there is all sorts of exciting goodies coming up. Make sure you're sticking around. This is the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Talk about your picks and your fantasy teams on Bettor Sports Network.
The importance of checking out the site that you're playing on. Default rankings of these sites. A lot of times they don't get updated. I know from experience. I used to write default rankings for the NFBKC, the basketball version of the NFBC. I'd write these default rankings in June for the NBA, before the NBA draft, before free agency opened up. And guess what? I was never asked to write an update article or update the default rankings. This happens a lot. Maybe if there's something obvious, it gets updated. Aaron Judge, for some reason, hurts his back. Maybe they make that change. Just maybe. But you don't know that. And that's why it's just so important that you show up to your draft room or you do that pre-draft prep. We're all busy. We know we're about to devote a lot of time to our fantasy baseball drafts. Why not spend the extra 20 to 25 minutes to invest properly in your team, to go and see which of those players are way down default rankings? They're going to be different on all of these sites, and you're going to be looking at them and going, maybe their analysts think a certain player who shouldn't be in the top 100, who should be maybe even not even the top 200, will be in that top 100. You got to check that out. You got to know where you're playing, just like you got to know your format when you sign up for the league. It's just so crucial, and people just skip right over it. You think it's cool to show up to the draft room 3 minutes before the draft. Well, number one, it's not cool because the commissioner's trying to make sure it is organized, especially me, who runs auctions. You can't, it's one thing if someone doesn't show up for the snake draft, oh well, doesn't ruin it for everyone. Auctions, you can't have someone not show up. Auto bidding, auto auctioning, it ruins the sanctity of those drafts here, which is why I always recommend, hey, make it easy on your commissioner. Don't make them send those texts there. It's annoying. You shouldn't have to do that. Don't wait till the last minute and get in there about 20, 25 minutes before so you can just look up and down the entire default rankings list so you can make a queue out of that, Ron. And the reason I keep saying this is because people still show up 2-3 minutes before the draft, and that's it. In fact, in one of my auctions, people were asking me where certain players were, and I go, did you search their name? No, I just got in. Well, that's no excuse right there. That's your own fault. I mean, you're organized, so you're a hard person to ask here.
You're getting those questions. This is your preschool league, right? People don't know how to search player names.
People freak out. They don't think. That's the problem. Because they show up 2 minutes before the draft. That's why.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. We've been wearing green the whole time. All three of us, that's for sure. Definitely didn't forget this morning at 5 a.m. whenever we got dressed and put it on just now so Tim wouldn't yell at us whenever he came on for his favorite holiday in about an hour.
This is his favorite holiday?
This is Tim's number one favorite holiday. And as soon as I saw Cooper in the green, I was like, I have to change before Tim gets here or I am going to be in trouble. Scott Fish, I am going to kill you. And I don't mean that as a threat. I mean that in the loving sense. You got my hopes up. I saw in the chat big news for Simon and got a little excited.
Didn't even know what it was. You're like, ooh.
News. I was like, Scott would come in here. Now you see me 3 is in production. My least favorite movie of all time is Now You See Me Too. My only regret in life is paying $17 to see that in a movie theater, and it's a decision I'll never make back, and $17 I'll never get back. There is no comforting me. There is no consoling me. I will never get over it.
Definitely not dramatic about it.
No.
Definitely, yeah. Thank you for clarifying that it's not dramatic at all.
You're
That's
welcome.
just how I feel about
You're
it.
very welcome.
Now You See Me Too.
Perfect.
And Now You See Me 3, I can't imagine it's going to be much better.
What if?
But what if it is?
Does that ever happen? Where like the second one is terrible, but then it totally redeems itself with the third one?
Yeah, the new Star Wars films.
Oh, I guess that's true. It could be true.
I'm trying to think of a movie series with more than 2 movies where the third one is better than the second one.
Terminator, no.
that's a
second
tough
was
one.
awesome.
That's a question for Joey Wright.
That
Joey,
is a question for Joey.
We'll put it on our
he's
film
the
research department.
The
Joey
only
Wright.
one that's watched movies before.
Yeah,
That is
the
true.
only one.
And JL has never been a movie guy either. Never really.
No one has. Not just me. It's just no one but Joey.
I asked Joey if I could watch a movie last week, and he said no.
I asked Joey if I could watch a movie last week, and boy, was it a weird one. Triangle of Sadness. It was fantastic, so good. But be ready for
Weird.
something a little
Weird.
off center if you watch that one. Well, guys, we are about to get into our next game called Feeling Lucky Punk. If you've never played this game with us, this is a game of intellectual chicken between the contestants. We'll be given a prompt, a challenge of some sort, something like how many of the top 10 PPR running backs from last season can you name? Or how many people from your phone book are you willing to call right now and say it's 2.0, y'all? Hypothetically, those are
It's
prompts that you
2.0,
could get
y'all.
on this game. The contestants are going to put their bids in. I'll do it 5 times. I'll do it 6 times until we've reached a number where nobody's bidding over. That contestant now has to put their money where their mouth is and do it. Do what they said they were going to do, however many times they said they were going to do it. If they're successful, they're going to get all those points. If they are unsuccessful, then their opponent will get all of those points without having to do anything. Now, after you reach your limit, that number, you can choose to keep going, but it is a push your luck mechanic, because if you're wrong on any of the additional that you choose to do or fail to complete the challenge, you will lose all of your points. They're going to go to your opponent. But for each additional you get right, you're going to have 2 points, doubling those points as it goes up. You guys ready?
Yeah.
You feeling lucky, Punk Coop?
Feeling lucky. Punk. All right, guys.
Damn it. Sorry.
What?
I refilled my water and then left it in the other room. This is
Oh,
the worst
dang
day
it.
of my life.
God damn.
We'll get it. Coop and I will stall.
You remembered
No,
your
that's
green.
okay.
Remembered your green sweatshirt though, so that's the important thing.
I remember the important things.
You want some of mine?
Yeah, thanks.
I stole it.
How was that?
Delicious and refreshing, and probably an awful sound for everybody listening.
All right, Simon, you are going to be giving the first bid on this one. Very first prompt. How many of the top 13 running backs with the most runs over 20 yards can you name?
How many of the top 13 running backs with the most runs over 20 yards can I name? Ooh, this is tough because I feel like I could name 10 of them, but I'm not sure. Like, I would get some wrong in between there. Know what I mean? Like, this isn't a stat I'm confident in, but I feel like I could suss out some. I'm going to start with 4.
I'll go
4
with
from
5.
Simon.
5.
I'm going to let Coop try it at 5. I'm going to
All
let
right,
Coop try it at
Coop,
5.
you win this bid with 5. That means you have to name 5 running backs with the most runs over 20 yards. 5 out of the top 13 is what you're naming. If you get all of them correct, you're going to get all those points. Otherwise, Simon will get all 5 points.
Let me get my pencil and paper out. All right. I will start with Josh Jacobs.
Josh Jacobs is number 10 on this list.
Oh boy, we're in big trouble. Okay. Let me
I have
get
5 written down, and that was one of them. So
Let me get-
if I would
He had
have done
7 runs over 20 yards.
Oh man. That means there's a bunch of guys that have way more than I would have ventured. What about Nick Chubb?
Nick Chubb is number 1 on this list with 13.
Very cool.
Good
Very cool,
job.
Nick. All right, got 10 and 1 out of the way. So
That good job was to you, Coop, not to Nick Chubb, but I also want
Nick
to make
Chubb,
sure
I
Nick
guess.
Chubb.
Also
Good job.
Good job for Nick Chubb. Let me get Ramondre Stevenson. I distinctly remember him having a good number of big runs.
Ramondre Stevenson is number 12 on this list, Scoop. That's 3 out of 5.
Feel
He's
it.
named 2 more.
Coop likes the bottom of that list.
Did you guys read this comment from Scott Fish about the Benedict Cumberbatch?
No.
He said Benedict Cumberbatch and Daniel Radcliffe are in ICB3. Which is I hope that is true because it makes the story so much better.
Well, Daniel Radcliffe was in number 2.
Oh, that's
he was
true.
in there.
Benedict Cumberbatch means that it's a different level of production.
You remember the Benedict Cumberbatch name generator that I sent you at one point? Where you can just I'm on it right now.
You send me that. Let's do that instead.
Burberry Carrot Patch, Butterfree Camouflage, Bulbasaur Cap'n Crunch, Bendy Dick Cumberbund, Dangle Rat Crumplehorn.
How many does it? Every time you hit it, it just gives you a new one.
Yeah, Bumbleshack Animorph, Bubble Bath Cracker Dong.
Click it once and that's your name.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Mine's Rumble Sack Curdled Milk.
Oh, that's so perfect for you.
Okay, wait. I get to click it twice.
Nope. You're right. Rumble Sack Curdled Milk.
Rumble Sack Curdled Milk.
And my official one is Bumble Sniff Cumber Snatch.
Oh, that's such a good one, dude.
That's a really good one, too.
Cumber Snatch.
Okay, well, Coop, I believe you're in the middle of naming players that had 20-plus yard runs.
The second one I got was Syphilis Cuttlefish.
I got Snozzlebert Rivendell.
Snozzlebert, dude.
Snozzlebert Rivendell.
Snozzlebert.
Detective at law.
All right, Mr. Snozzlebert. Give me Christian McCaffrey. Is Christian McCaffrey on the list?
Christian McCaffrey is number 5 on this list.
CMC.
Man, you told me I could have played this and just named the best.
I just named good running backs. Yeah.
There we go.
Ding.
Wasn't working for a second.
Who else was
Had
good?
to fix my button.
Yeah. Who else was good at football? Is Austin Eckler on the list?
Is that a guess?
Yeah.
Austin Eckler.
No
is
way!
Not on this list.
Unbelievable. Is Tony Pollard on there? That was my next guess.
Tony Pollard's number 6 on this list.
I had Pollard, Henry, Swift, and Cook as the 4 that I had written down.
Pollard, Henry, Swift, and Cook. You would have been wrong on Swift and Cook.
Eckler sucks.
So here's the list. Here's the list. It's Nick Chubb with 13, then Derrick Henry with 10, Ken Walker 10, Saquon Barkley 9, along with CMC. Tony Pollard and Miles Sanders also had 9. And then Travis Etienne, Deonta Foreman, both with 8.
Oh.
And then Josh Jacobs, Damian Pierce, Ramondre Stevenson, and Jeff Wilson was 7.
I thought Pierce, just because the dude is such a violent runner. Surely he got through for 20 quite a few times, but I wasn't sure because he didn't have the starting job for the whole year. So I was unsure whether he would be on the list.
He had that one game. He had that one game with like 14 carries for 13 yards too. I don't think there was a lot of 20-yard runs in that game.
Maybe, but there would have had to be a lot of backwards running too.
Yeah.
Tommy said, "Loose my number."
Lose my number.
Lose it, dude.
And our guy Nick in the chat said Brees Lightning. He probably would have made it on this list if he had not gotten hurt.
Yeah.
He was doing something.
Eckler, you dweeb.
Okay, wrecked by Eckler. So Simon, you're gonna get 5 points for this one.
Austin Reckler. Why have we never said that before?
That's a good one.
I'm officially on tilt.
Austin Reckler. All right.
The Reckling ball.
I'm just immediately imagined him completely naked on a like Miley Cyrus.
Miley Cyrus in it?
Yeah.
He would do that too, of all the guys.
Oh, yeah. 100%.
So muscly.
Oh, so many muscles. All right, our next prompt here for feeling lucky, punk. Feeling lucky, punk. Coop, you are giving. Excuse me, Coop. You are giving the first bid on this one. Your prompt is: name the top or how many of the top 9 highest paid players in this year's free agency can you name?
The highest paid guys
Yes.
of the top
And-
9.
And this is per year. And
Per
only
year. So
only skill
AAV.
position players. So QBs, wide receiver, running back, wide receiver.
Oh, so no.
Tight end.
Why not everybody? Why are we getting excluded here?
I don't know. Ask producer Keith.
Producer Keith.
But also because it's hard.
It's not that hard. Well, that actually makes it harder for me because I know the contracts for these guys, for the at least like Javon Hargraves and these guys, because I have to for work. So it would have been easier for me to do it the other way. But I will say that I can name 5 of them.
5. Starting bid with 5. Simon, you want to up the ante?
Nope. No, that's all you. I am not bidding against the man who's been running the Fantasy Alarm free agent tracker in the naming the highest paid free agents. I'm gonna let him take that shot.
I gave away my hand before.
I was aware. As soon as they said highest paid, I was like, and Coop's playing this one.
And I'm probably gonna get a really
Gift
aggressive
me some points.
and lose it because I'm on tilt. Once you end up down by any amount, you have to lose by 30. That's how this game works. So give me Derek Carr as number 1.
Derek Carr is correct. 37.5 million.
And give me number 2 on the list, Mr. Jim Jam Garoppolo.
Jimmy Garoppolo is on this list, 24.25 million.
Now, does this, and you should be able to tell, does this include free agents that signed back with their own team, or is it only guys that changed teams?
I don't know.
Okay. And does it include like franchise tag?
I don't know. I didn't come up with this prompt, so unless
Okay.
Keith gives me that information, we don't have that information.
Because like Daniel Jones, well, okay, is Daniel Jones on the list? If he's not, then it wouldn't include.
I'm not telling you who is and who isn't on the list.
Well, if I guess
I do
Daniel,
think that's a fair clarification for him to ask if Daniel
because Daniel Jones I know Daniel Jones would be on this list. So okay, I'll guess
Keith
Daniel
gave the
Jones.
very helpful answer of no.
Okay,
If that's in response to, I don't know, that just seems unclear. That's very vague. No,
well,
Coop,
it's like
that's
if I guess Daniel Jones
Doesn't include franchise tag.
Well, Daniel Jones didn't get franchise tagged. He got $40 million a year, which would put him on the list. So I don't think he's on the list.
Are you want to guess Daniel Jones?
Well, I don't. Well, because if he's not on the list, what is it going to be? Oh, well, he's not on the list.
Yeah, that is the result that would happen. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, then I guess I'm not going to guess Daniel Jones then.
Okay.
What I'm going to do is I'm going to guess Alan Lazard,
Alan Lazard is number 3 on this list with 11 million.
which means that Jacoby Myers is on the list and also means that Juju Smith-Schuster on the list because they all got $11 million.
Yes, both Jacoby Myers and Juju are on this list, but you are incorrect about Juju's money, according to this source.
How much you get?
8.5 mil.
8.5 million. That's interesting. It was originally reported at 3 years, 33 million.
Keith could be wrong. Who knows? Well, that is 5, Coop. So you will get these 5 points. You can choose to keep guessing. Remember, you're naming the top 9 players here. So if you keep guessing, you will be able to get 2 points per correct guess. But if you get any wrong, Simon's going to get all those points.
I'm going to guess at least one more, and I'm going to guess Miles Sanders.
Miles Sanders is not on this list.
Really?
Yeah.
All right. Well, see,
Oh.
getting really aggressive. Who else? Who is on the list?
We had Jacoby Brissett, number 6 at 8 million. Robert Woods, number 7. Hayden Hurst at number 8. And then Taylor Heineke, number 9.
How much did Heineke get?
7 million.
7 million. What did Miles Sanders get?
I don't know. So, Simon, you are going to get an additional 5 points here on the for Coop for going over, pushing his luck, losing all of his points.
what I'm realizing about this. Juju Smith-Schuster signed a 3-year, $25.5 million contract with 7.9 in signing bonus. So with the signing bonus, it gets up. So if this was AAV, average annual value, it would have been the 11 million, but this is not AAV. This is just their yearly salary, taking signing bonus out of it. Is what we got going on.
Yeah, and Miles Sanders got less than those guys, so he wouldn't be on the list. Perfect. All right, on the next one. Like I said, I'm doing my part. I have to lose by at least 30.
All right, our next one. Simon, you are giving the first bid on this one. How many tweets are you willing to let me send from your account?
0.
I'll match 0.
If it was not you, this number would be higher. But man, do I not trust you.
All right, very fun prompt. Thank you, guys. We'll move on from that one. Excellent work.
That's my job, dude.
You didn't even give us an opportunity to second
YouTube.
get. Okay, Mr. Host, maybe pressure us to do it instead of just moving on.
I use that account for
We
work.
have said, how many times have we said on this show, Coop and I both, that all it takes is a simple "come on" before either one of us is willing to jump in and do something, and you're just going to give up and shame us? Okay, next prompt.
Pretty good
Shame
with
on
that,
next
but I use that account for work. I can't really. It's according to Joe Bryant at the FSGA conference. That's my resume right there.
Oh, you should consider what you're putting on your resume sometimes, Coop. I've seen what you say on Twitter.
I'm taking a look. Yeah,
It's a weird resume.
there's currently if you scroll through my timeline, there's currently a picture of Barney O'Blarney and a possum on it.
It's professional.
Very professional.
All right, our next prompt. If it loads, it will not load. All right, how many of the top 9 QBs with the most interceptions during last season can you name? Simon, Coop, you are giving the first bid on this one.
I bid first on the last one.
No, I bid 0.
Yeah.
And then you bid 0.
yeah, because it was the Twitter one. Okay, I will say 3.
3 from Coop. Simon.
I'll say 4. I want to play.
You got it.
Okay, I know 1 for sure, and I'm going to try to suss out the other 3. Davis Mills was tied for the league lead in interceptions.
Davis Mills was number 1 on this list.
Who's he tied with?
Who was he tied with? For some reason, there's a name sticking out of my head that may just be so wrong, but I'm rolling with it. Dak Prescott?
Dak Prescott is number 2 on this list, Simon. That's correct.
Okay, thank God. Davis Mills, Dak Prescott. How many did I say I would name?
You said you would name 4.
Wow. Oh, man, that was aggressive. Davis Mills, Dak Prescott. I'm trying to think of guys who chucked the ball up a ton as well. Brady threw it a lot, but I don't remember him throwing too many picks. Who threw lots of interceptions? I'm going to go with Derek Carr.
Derek Carr is number 4 on this list, Simon. That is correct.
One more for the points.
One more.
The only names that are coming to mind are the interception leaders from the previous season, who I'm pretty sure were not on this list this year. Matthew Stafford and Trevor Lawrence tied in the previous season, but I do not think they're up here on this one. Who is the last quarterback that threw a ton of interceptions? I'm going to go with Mr.
Got it. I believe
I
you.
don't got it. I don't think I got it. I don't
Old
think I got it,
Mr.
Coop. Old Mr.
Mr.
Tom
Pick
Brady
Six.
threw the ball a ton. He threw the ball so much. I'm going to go Tom Brady.
Timmy O'Brady.
Tom Brady is not on this list, Simon. I'm sorry.
Oh, damn it.
But it might have been a
brutal.
sneaky one on there. You're going to say names, and I'm going to be like, duh, why did I guess
Obviously.
Tom Brady over them?
Number 1, Davis Mills, you got. Number 2, Dak Prescott. I guess they tied, so 15 each. You were correct about that. Number 3, Josh Allen.
I remember seeing his name on that list now.
Yeah, Dustin in the chat got that one. Number 4, Derek Carr. Number 5, Kirk Cousins.
I almost said Kirky boy.
I know.
6, Matt Ryan. 7, Joe Burrow. 8, Patrick Mahomes. And 9, Aaron Rodgers.
They were like 48 names on that list that I almost said. Instead, I went with Tom freaking Brady. What's wrong with me?
Freaking Brady. And that's going to give Coop 4 points, bringing the score to 10-4.
I love that the two guys that led the league in interceptions through 15 and Jameis Winston once through 30. It's just absolutely slinging, dude. And there was one less game then.
He was killing it. He threw like 30 touchdowns that year as well, right?
Yeah, 33 touchdowns. And he threw for over 5,000 yards. So he was just
3,300 touchdowns and 50,000 yards.
My favorite and my other favorite factoid about that is that the next offseason he got LASIK eye surgery. He just
that was hilarious.
Squinting his eyes, just chucking it downfield.
That is a really funny. Like, they're probably unrelated, but
he's just like,
it's funny that they happened in right after each other.
Yeah, the timing is perfect for that. Yeah.
All right, guys. I think we got time for one more prompt here.
Oh, I need it.
Ready to get into it?
Yeah.
All right, Coop. No, sorry, Simon. You are giving the first bid on this one. How many of the top 8 teams with the most tight end targets can you name?
Oh.
3.
3.
4.
4. 5.
6.
6.
7. Oh, wait. No, that is a big mistake, but I said it out loud because that's enough for Coop to win the game if I can't name 7 of the 8 teams. But I've said it. I just got carried away. I wanted to play.
Well, I think you're playing, bud.
You don't think you can name all 8?
Oh, I think I can, but I think that the
you want
odds
to win. You want to win off my failure, not off your success.
You got really aggressive there against me on this one, so I'm gonna let you go. Why don't you go ahead?
All right,
and it's Simon. As a team. It's as a team, right? Not a player.
Yes, team. Yeah. Team.
This is like on eBay. Whenever I get sucked into a bidding war, and I meant to only spend $20,
$3,000 on a bottle cap.
Exactly. Like, oh, look at this pen. The bid's only up to $20. And all of a sudden I've spent $380 on the same pen because it was personal at that point, whoever was bidding against me.
It's not about the pen. It's about the principle.
It's about winning. And I may not win this game, but I won that round of bidding, damn it.
You turn to Leanne and you're like, I won. She's like, what'd you win? You're like,
the bidding round.
Nothing.
Okay. So this is this number of tight end targets or tight end target share?
Our number of targets, raw targets.
Let's go with the Kansas City Chiefs.
The Chiefs are number 2 on this list.
I'm going to go number 2. I'm going to go with the Baltimore Ravens.
The Ravens are number 1 on this list.
Okay, that checks out.
Number 1.
The Ravens, the Chiefs, and those were the 2 very, very obvious ones that we had in this set, but there's a couple there's good tight ends. I'm going to go with the Jacksonville Jaguars.
The Jaguars are not on this list.
What?
Yeah, apparently not. Dan Arnold not pulling his weight over there.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Simon. Jaguars not on this list. This list, Ravens, Chiefs, you got, and then the Vikings, 146, Steelers, 138, Seahawks, 136, Browns, 133, Texans, 131, and then Cowboys, 130.
Ooh, I would not have gotten. I would absolutely not have gotten the Texans. I can say that right now. That if I had gone 8, there's 0 chance I say the word Texans there.
Yep.
Because it was like a mission. They were like adding guys and cutting guys all year. So you have to add up like OJ Howard and Jordan Akins and all those guys like that. That's a weird one, but I could see how they would end up with a lot when you combine everybody.
So Simon, I'm sorry, but you were going to lose this game. Texas are feeling lucky, Punkit. Brutal. 11-10. Not every game's a blowout, Coop. Not every game's a blowout.
Yeah, this is. I think we're figuring out the mechanics a little better of this one because in the early running, I would have in my mind I would have said I have to go 8, and then Simon would have got all 8, and then
the game's all about avoiding playing.
Yeah. especially if someone's going to, if you have to call people and say it's 2.0, y'all.
I'll do that all day.
Did you have any tweets? What were some of the tweets you would have sent? Did you have any ready to go?
I didn't.
It's 2.0, y'all would have been one of them, I bet.
Oh, easily.
I'm much more willing to call someone than to put anything in writing, anything that can be traced back to me. permanently.
Just like putting it on video on a stream.
Exactly.
Isn't-
That's fine. You
isn't-
got to watch it. Then we at
Okay.
least get a view out of it. Then we got to see it. Well, guys, coming up, we've got our friend Deal Ledbetter joining the show to talk a little bit about the Falcons in the Beat Scoop. Then we're going to play Fast Guy Quick Time and do some Irish Folklore Battle Royale brackets with our friend Tim. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
As a longtime baseball fan, here's my message to other baseball fans to steal a line from the Packers' future Hall of Fame quarterback, Aaron Rodgers, RELAX. Everyone needs to relax after what we saw this past weekend at spring training games out in Arizona and down in Florida. Got going, and we're inching closer and closer to Major League Baseball opening day. The rule changes in Major League Baseball is not for myself. It's not for you out there, the hardened baseball fan, whether you're a fan 5, 10, 15, 30, or even 50 years from all around this great country. It's not for those that are going to be locked in. It's for trying to generate more fans. So if they want the pitcher to go out there and work in rhythm with a guy on base, begin the windup within 20 seconds, nobody on base, begin the windup within 15 seconds, or have the batter make sure that he's back in the batter's box within 8 seconds, then making the base pass first, second, and third bigger, eliminating the shift. All of this is to make the game better. We've seen leagues, whether it be the National Football League, do they get to the same league as it is today in 2023, or what we saw in 2022 as it was 30 years ago? No, it's not. Is NBA basketball the same? No. How many games do you see being played? 83-79 finals. You don't see that at all. So every league adjusts to try and bring what? More fans into the sport. And that is something that Major League Baseball is going out there and trying to do. I've been critical at times of Rob Manfred, whether or not as a MLB commissioner, whether he likes the sport based on some of the rhetoric that he has spewed in years gone by. But I got to be honest with you, as a longtime baseball fan, I've been a Yankee fan my entire life. Watched a ton of Met games here in the tri-state area. Watched baseball all around. Can't wait for October baseball. Think it's absolutely unbelievable what is transpiring now and what's happening now and the rule changes being brought about baseball. It's going to bring back to the game to when I became a fan, where the stolen base was something, moving guys over was something, having men on base, batting averages ascending, not being an all or nothing league where either you're striking out or hitting the ball over the fence. And that is what baseball is trying to do. So as everybody tries to adjust, and change is difficult, whether you're changing your diet, exercise routine, changing your relationships, changing a job, change is different. I get that. And it's hard. But let's take a step back. Let's understand what Major League Baseball is trying to do here. And they're trying to repopulate or repopularize the sport. That's what they're trying to do. They're clearly the third most popular sport in the United States. They want to make it less regionalized. This is the way they need to go about doing it. I'm all for it. For more content like this, download the Bettor Sports Network app or go to bettorsports.com.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show on March 17th, 2023. Happy St. Patrick's Day to everybody. And every Columbus Day and every St. Patrick's Day, I bring up the same quote from Les Miles, who stood on the podium during a game and said, "Happy Columbus Day to all of my Italians and explorers out there. It is not St. Patrick's Day. That's a different day entirely." And today is that different day entirely. It's St. Patrick's Day. So Les Miles, thank you for my favorite college football quote of all time, because he learned that morning that they were different days. Know what I mean? Wow. Like he put on his green shirt and went downstairs and like pinched his wife because she wasn't wearing green. And she's like, "This is a different day entirely, Les. This is the St. Patrick's Day is a whole different day."
Like, really?
What? And he got on the podium and was like, it's a different day entirely, in case anybody out there was confused.
Amazing, dude. Amazing. And the art, I had never heard that before, so I just Googled it real quick. And the articles making fun of him are so funny, dude. Les Miles getting close to explaining the entire holiday calendar.
Getting close to it. What a funny way to describe it.
and then the subtitle is one. We look forward. He goes, once he breaks down Arbor Day for us, we'll really be in business.
What day do you think he gets Arbor Day confused with? Groundhog Day?
Yeah, I imagine.
Wakes up on Groundhog Day, plants a tree. He's like, something about holes on this holiday, but I can't quite remember what.
Maybe I watched Holes, the movie.
Dude,
I don't know.
man.
I should call Shia LaBeouf. It's been a while. It's been a minute since we've talked. Shia LaBeouf is one of those, he's just a character in my head that I have trouble placing. Like, he's even Stevens, and he's also, but at the same time, perfect for both of those roles.
Yeah.
Like, it doesn't make any sense how he could be like the idiot little brother perfectly, and then just rock it in a tank war movie, like a pretty hardcore movie.
It's a big switch.
He my favorite Shia LaBeouf move was the plagiarism move that he had. Did you guys ever see that one?
No.
Dude, he apparently came out with a script that was completely fully plagiarized. He thought he'd get away with that. So then they called him out on it, and he posted an apology, and the apology that he posted was also plagiarized. Like he just went on, he just Googled like plagiarism apology and posted that. So like double plagiarism.
He couldn't be bothered. He was
Could
too
not
busy.
be, yeah, he's like, all right, who cares?
With his next interpretive art exhibit, he's done some pretty cool art exhibits, if I'm not mistaken.
What is he even up to? I feel like I haven't heard anything about him lately.
Waiting for the next Transformers movie? I don't know.
Isn't that coming out with someone else? Ouch.
Shia LaBeouf. Let's check his IMDb to see what Shia LaBeouf has been up to. I bet he's been on like the podcast circuit. That sounds about. Oh, I did watch a movie he was in not too long ago called The Peanut Butter Falcon. Did you watch that one?
That was
2019?
great. That movie was
freaking
awesome,
great movie.
bro.
It was
That movie
freaking
was
awesome.
Yeah. Shia LaBeouf is usually doing something borderline psychotic, right? Like that seems like, didn't he also do like an art exhibit where he let people do whatever they wanted to him? And
I believe so. I couldn't remember the details, but that was what I was referring to. And it said he's had some, he was prepping for his next weird art exhibit. He's done some rather creative things.
Art should be weird though.
I agree.
No question.
Does that make sense?
If it makes you uncomfortable, it's probably the goal of the artist has been met.
If it wasn't a weird art exhibit, what would it be? Science fair?
Which, I mean, wouldn't want to do any science fair bashing on the show. So
No.
I think
You
there's
ever enter a science fair?
Yeah.
not by choice.
I think I lost. I know I
never entered
lost. I have no memory of winning a science fair, so I'm pretty certain I lost.
Coop, you entered one?
Yeah, we kind of had to for school. And as far as people that came up with theirs and did it the morning of the science fair, I was probably the best at that.
What'd you do? The old Coke and Mentos?
Yeah, I built a volcano, right? Like, I don't even know. A solar system that with styrofoam balls, probably. I can't even remember. What about
Coop
you?
just
Simon?
Googled plagiarized science projects. and then
Shia
did
LaBeouf.
Yeah. What did you do for yours, Simon?
I never entered a science fair, but I did enter an invention convention when I was 5.
Oh, I
Science
did one of those
Olympiad.
too.
That's probably the closest that I've entered. And I was so creative. I invented a spinning table, which ended up just being a Lazy Susan whenever I look back on it. So when I was 5 years old, I brought a Lazy Susan to the invention convention and called it the spinning table and was so confident I was going to win.
I like
But I
that.
didn't. The whole premise
Lazy
was
Susan.
I wanted to be able to get the salt myself without having to have other people pass it to me. And I did not win. Colored salt won that invention convention. It was a different salt related invention. We all had the same thought
Do we
process.
really need it in a different color?
It was so you could see how much was on your food was their premise. And I was like, man,
Ooh, kind of love that.
Seems like they pulled that one out
but
of
I
their
feel like
ass.
you're going to run into the problem I ran into when I brought pink golf balls to the golf course with the cherry blossoms. Food is different colors.
True.
Not all food is the same color. And so white salt shows up pretty well on some things and not on other things.
Yeah, that's true. I had to do an invention one time, and my invention was to take mail and put the person you're trying to send it to in the return address, and then not put a stamp on there to send free letters. And my teacher was like, "That's a federal crime."
Coop's invention
But genius.
I was like, "But it's. I mean, are they really looking into this? And she was like, that's a crime. And you get an F.
And also, how wouldn't they have figured it out? Like, hey, we have this letter that's from California with the return edge. How the heck did it get here?
Yeah, I don't know if they're looking that closely. I think that letter gets through. I don't know, dude. At this point, you could probably just send an email, but still. Just saying, kind of invented that move.
Well, guys, joining us right now to talk some Atlanta Falcons, we've got our friend Dio Ledbetter joining the show. For those of you that do not know Dio, he's the Atlanta Falcons and NFL pro sports writer over at the Atlanta Journal-Constitution and is a legend in this space. Dio, so glad to have you back on the show today with us, my friend.
Hey, thanks for having me, guys. Appreciate that great introduction there.
It's always good seeing you.
Yes.
Always good seeing you, my friend.
Yeah.
And even more so right now because, man, the Falcons have been busy since free agency started. It's going to look like a whole new team next year. So I'm excited to start talking about some of the moves that they've made.
With Jesse Bates, you got Taylor Heineke, some big names.
I read your article, Dio, and I love calling Terry Fontenot and Arthur Smith the Splash Brothers this offseason. Yeah, baby.
Splash Bros. Yeah, that was kind of facetious because they're doing everything they can to not make a splash, but they're making solid moves. And I don't know how they feel about it. I'm gonna text them later, but yeah. I don't know where that came. Well, I know where it came from, but just because they didn't want to make a splash, but they're making a splash because they got the second most money in the league.
Right, exactly. Yeah, the moves they're more rather than making a splash, it seems like more fortifying going on, right?
Yeah, no doubt. Signing two linemen, re-signing two linemen doesn't really get you in the headlines, but that's what they did. Folks were anticipating maybe they go get Lamar Jackson, but they came out anti-splash and said, no, we're not going after him. And, they went after Deshaun last year, so it was reasonable to conclude they might jump in there, and they didn't, and signed Chris Lindstrom and Caleb McGarry, re-signed them to extensions, and that made it it was like, okay, this isn't real splashy, but very solid. They were part of the line that led them to number 3 in the league in rushing, and then they went and got some help for the middle of the defense, right down the middle. Daniel Oyamate on the line, Caden Ellis at linebacker, and Jesse Bates at safety. So, good moves there, just straight up the line. And then just added, some smaller pieces, Bradley Pinion, the punter, Keith Smith, the fullback, Liam McKellum, the long snapper, and Parker Hesse, the blocking tight end. So, they're the Jonnu Smith trade. That was, he had been a disappointment. Yeah, it was been a disappointment in New England, but had played well for Arthur Smith in Tennessee. So, that's where they're sitting right now, and got a little bit of money left. So we'll see how they handle the second phase of free agency.
I missed the Pinion signing, which as a Clemson guy, that makes me happy. As a Clemson guy and an Atlanta native, I'm from Atlanta. That's pretty cool. That's pretty cool seeing Pinion sign over there with the Falcons.
Yeah, got a pretty good deal.
I look at the way they beefed this team up, right? And if you're a nickel corner or a free safety, and they hand the ball to Tyler Algier, and you have Kyle Pitts coming at you, 6'6", 6'4", Drake London. You mentioned Keith Smith, the fullback, Jonnu Smith, the tight end. This run game could be serious again this year. Do you see them going out and adding a back in the draft maybe, or you think they're just going to ride it out with Algier and Patterson and guys like Avery Williams that they have there?
Yeah, they're higher on Avery Williams than what his stats would indicate as kind of a third down, open field kind of guy. They think he's got a ceiling that he's not near yet. But yeah, I could definitely see them getting another back. Caleb Huntley did a good job, but he's injured now. He's coming off an Achilles. So, I could see them getting a back in the draft for sure, and certainly in the undrafted class to come in and work his way up and be a part of the rotation. Patterson's not getting any younger, and you don't know how much you're going to get from him in his 30s.
Yeah, Avery Williams, he was a defensive back originally, wasn't he? How does that happen? How do they go about looking at a guy like that and saying, hey, we're going to make you an RB?
Yeah, he played some RB at Boise before landing on the defensive side of the ball. His real forte was returning kicks and punts, and they tried to play him at corner. They got down some corners in Dallas. His first year had him out there chasing CD Lamb around, and that didn't look too good. And so then they decided, hey, maybe we can make him a running back. And his open field awareness, I think he led the league in punt return yardage last year. This open field awareness, being able to translate to offense means that, they'll try to get him the ball in space, with screens and little short dumps and get him some space to work with, because that's what he's used to doing on the returns.
Yeah, in his defense, I don't think anybody looked particularly great covering CD Lamb last
Yeah.
year.
Yeah, that was
That's a good
Dallas
point.
put a 40 spot up on him in 21. And one of the quarterbacks got hurt doing warm-ups and couldn't go, and Avery was proverbial next man up and had a long day down at Jerry World.
The Kendall Hinton of Dallas. Dio, I wanted to ask you about the quarterback situation here in Atlanta. And when you came on our show in the preseason last year, we were talking about Desmond Ridder, and you brought up concerns. You were like, I'm not seeing it from Desmond Ridder in camp. It's just you weren't sure whether he was the guy for Atlanta. Going into the season, they just signed Taylor Heineke. How are you looking at this quarterback situation? How do you think it will play out this year?
Yeah, Desmond is he did enough in their eyes to believe that they can continue to develop him. And if he doesn't, goes off the rails, you got a veteran who can certainly get you through a game and maybe even take it over for a while. So I don't think they're done at quarterback. I'm hearing they don't like the first group of quarterbacks, so they're not going to trade up. They think the second tier of quarterbacks is, just as good as the first. So maybe they get another second tier guy this year to compete, or you're certainly going to get a third tier guy to come in and maybe learn from Logan Woodside and try to come up that way, at least have some arms in here. But last year they did something strange. They only went with two quarterbacks. So Ridder and Mariota would get all of the practice snaps. The practice snaps were so important to them to get them to Ridder that they didn't bring in a third or fourth quarterback. But I could see them bringing in someone and maybe jettison Woodson to keep two quarterbacks in the developmental hopper.
I like that.
Yeah, whenever you bring up that second tier of quarterbacks, how far down are we looking at there? Is that like Hendon Hooker, or is that like further down to that next tier of quarterbacks that they might be interested in?
Yeah, I haven't I haven't gotten past Hendon Hooker. I know some of the schools that are out there, the San Jose guy, I think Fordham had a guy at the combine. But yeah, I haven't gotten past Hendon Hooker in that second tier of quarterbacks. But yeah, we'll be doing that work as we do our position by position rankings moving forward closer to the draft. But yeah, Stetson Bennett is the third tier. He's the leader of that tier. So those are the main two that I've been looking at. And I was over at his pro day on Wednesday, and you got to kind of the offense got to fit him type of deal. So he's not the traditional drop back guy.
Hey, since you were over there, anybody else pop for you over at the Georgia Pro? I mean, I know it's megastars over there, so
yeah,
a lot of guys will pop. But anybody else that kind of, it's like a.
Yeah.
Was there anybody good at the Alabama Pro Day? You know what I mean? Like, but did anybody jump out at you?
The two-time reigning national championship college football team. Are there any good players there?
Just
looking at my notes. No, but Darnell Washington's just the big free. I just love watching him work out.
Yeah.
He's at 6'7", Man, he weighed 272, so he was a little heavier. Of course, the Jalen Carter, everybody's read about that. That was bizarre. Broderick Jones did really good. Nolan Smith ran good again, so he's probably running his. Kaylee Ringo, you got probably 3 first-rounders for sure. Carter, Ringo, and maybe Nolan Smith. Maybe Darnell Washington bumps into the first round, but definitely doesn't get out of the second. And then, Chris Smith, the little safety, somebody's going to fall in love with his tape and maybe give him a shot. But those are some of the, just seeing a big man like Darnell just run like the wind and do those drills. I mean, Stetson Bennett threw one ball about 40 yards. It was low. He just reached down and plucked it, at his knees, showing some flexibility. So he made him some money on Pro Day for sure. I've been watching him for the last couple of years, and just to be in the room with him in Indy and then at Georgia, it's pretty amazing that he was the second tight end. Brock Bowers will be coming out next year.
Good Bowers is, yeah.
People will be comparing him to Travis Kelce and stuff. So, but Darnell has been the one that I've, fallen in love with and could see him having a big pro career.
I kind of
6'7". That's a big man. That's a big dude, Darnell Washington.
And to be able to go down and get those shoestring catches means a lot, because I mean, we would see Gronkowski do that. Rob Gronkowski is a big guy. He could make those plays, and that's kind of a difference maker between some of these stiff guys that end up blocking tight ends and guys that can truly do it all. So excited to see that. I honestly thought he was in the mix before they traded for Jonnu Smith, that he might be in the mix to be that inline tight end for the Falcons. Now, when I look at this offense, I see, they got the big bodies. They got Drake London, Pitts on the outside, but not a lot of depth at wide receiver. Do you think maybe they go out and add like a speedy field stretcher, like a DJ Chark or a Nelson Aguilar or something, or maybe add something in the draft? What do you see them doing at wideout? Because I mean, right now the depth chart, it's pretty barren, is it not?
Yeah, they're a little thin there. They let all the guys go, and they're still available, so you can probably see them pop back up here and compete with some of the young guys. Josh Ali was a reserve future signing that they like a lot. Alameda Zaccheaus, Demir Bird, Cordell Hodge, those guys are all on the street still now as free agents. They could all come back. But yeah, they definitely got to get a home run hitter. Bird did it against the Bengals. They were down, but you got to have somebody racing down the field when the defense inevitably, when they come up to try to stop the run. You got to be able to hit them over the top with something. And Pitts and London could do some of that. But, yeah, you want the little speedy guy on the post, coming out of that bootleg to the right, and you could just lay it out there for him and throw it to the numbers and let him go get it. But, yeah, the guy that was Demir Bird last year, he's a veteran, and that's all he does. So he can be back, or you can try to upgrade there, like you said, with Aguilar or somebody like that in the free agent pool. So yeah, definitely see some receivers coming there.
I'm a Patriots fan, so I'm familiar with both the Demir Bird and the Nelson Aguilar experience. And you're right, kind of a one-trick pony situation. Right?
No doubt.
I want them to just keep signing receivers that are a minimum of 6'4". That's all I want to see. We got a big Falcons fan in the chat, and Ladarius came in a little bit earlier and said, absolute legend whenever Dio popped up on here. And he's got a question for you. Ladarius said, should Atlanta go defense with their first-round pick? And if so, who should Fontenot select? So do you think they're going defense in that first round? And if so, who do you think they're taking?
Yeah, I was in my first mock, and I'm due for I'm trying to do one every other Friday, so that'll be next week. I got a week off here to digest, but I went Pierce Skoronski, but that was with the thinking that Caleb McGarry was going to get a lot of money and not come back. But he didn't get a lot of money, and he came back. So now I am thinking defense. And, the dream scenario for the Falcons is Jalen Carter's there at 8 now. So, and if he's there at 8, they're going to take it. So, but I worry that Seattle's in front of them, and Pete Carroll might think, well, hey, the kid had some problems. We can take care of it. We need defense. Let's take it. So, either him, the Clemson kid, the Texas A&M rusher, Texas Tech rusher, Tyrese, definitely some upfront help for the defense. I don't think signing Daniel Alumata solves all their problems up front. So, yeah, you want to get a baller up front that can, penetrate and get on the other side of the line of scrimmage for you.
Yeah, I mean, if you're Jalen Carter, you would love to go to the Falcons because a lot, he's going to get scrutiny for the stuff that's going on, but it probably helps a little bit to have a huge overlap of Georgia fans and Falcons fans where maybe a little easier to forgive when you already are a mega fan, right?
Yeah, no doubt. But the bigger thing for me, I worry is the mental health of the kid. I mean, he was drag racing the other car with the 2 people that died in the car, Chandler LaCroix and Devin Willett. So, he left the scene. I mean, you're 20, you're going to panic. You would have liked for him to go help his guys out of the car and be the first one to take them to the hospital. So, I mean, he's dealing with that. He got the legal issues. They got settled yesterday. No contest. He's on a little fine and a 12-month probation. So, that's taken care of. But, psychologically, where is he at? Can you get him some help? Can you get him? He hasn't been working out. That was pretty obvious from the pictures we took at Pro Day. So, you got to get his head together and get him back on the field where, and get him back into shape. I mean, if he's overweight at 20, what it's going to look like at 25 after you gave him millions of dollars. So, there's some things but then you put on the tape and say, oh, this could be a great generational talent, which is what Kirby Smart said. So if you feel you can handle the off the field stuff and put him back together and get him the help that he probably needs, you go ahead and try to do that. And what better to do that in with, the fan bases of, the school you went to and the city that's nearby.
It'll be a good support network there. And I love the point you brought up. It's a kid, and we let the courts handle the legal side of things, and the team and the players and the fans are worried about the player themselves. And are they going to be all right? Are they going to be able to handle this? Also, we had some Chark hate in the chat from Dustin. Dustin came down here and said Chark is a one-trick pony. His trick has never been on the field.
Moderators, please remove Dustin from the chat. At least 15-minute
promoted.
At least 15-minute
moderator in the chat.
We've gone back and forth. Theo, I like DJ Chark. JL doesn't. DJ, is that a guy that you would entertain as maybe the outside speedy guy? How do you feel about DJ Chark?
Yeah.
Are you in or out?
I mean, I remember the Jacksonville games, and that's all they had, and he was up for it. Detroit on Madden, I remember him from there, but not on the field much. But yeah, definitely, a gritty guy who, when they put a lot on his plate down there, he was ready to eat. So I would give him a shot. Yeah, definitely.
Well, Dio, before we let you go, I want to leave with one more question. If you have one wish list item for the rest of this offseason for the Falcons, one move that you just want to see them make, whether it's free agency, it's in the draft, what would that wish list item be?
Lamar Jackson. Lamar Jackson.
Yeah.
Figure it out.
Yeah, that's a pretty good one.
Figure it out. I mean, I don't want to hear, we don't. I know it's not a solid football move, giving up that much. You didn't want to give Deshaun 230. I don't want to give him 250. But if they had Lamar Jackson the city would just be bonkers. Now your team might not be any good long range because you giving up the picks and you can't build it out. But no, that'll put some pressure on the scouting department to go find some people. Go get me some street guys that can play. Go, you're not gonna have any money. So give me some guys that I would get all the guys that went to Power 5 schools that are just outside the draft, but got a ceiling, and then you got to coach them up. So I'm gonna put some pressure on the coaches and the scouts to find some players to put around Lamar. So because I'm gonna be in every game every week, and the Mercedes-Benz is gonna be rocking again, like Michael Vick was here. So I mean they're doing the non-splashy build out, and my dream scenario would be go splashy.
Yeah, I'll tell you right now, Dio,
Like
like the Michael Vick era, if they were to do that, every kid in this country would be playing as the Falcons in Madden. Right?
No doubt.
You wouldn't even be allowed to.
That's
You wouldn't even be allowed to play as the Falcons in Madden if they
If
did
you go to
that.
Falcons games now, the jersey that you see the most of is still Michael Vick.
Yeah.
Like I feel like I still see him everywhere. Lamar Jackson jerseys would be freaking flying. The city would go crazy, man. They would love it. Dio, I want to thank you so much for taking the time to come up here and hang out with us. Everybody, make sure you check out Dio's work with the Atlanta Journal-Constitution. Awesome writer and keeps you up to date on the NFL and specifically that inside knowledge on the Falcons. Dio, thank you so much for joining us today, my friend.
All right, thanks for having me on the Front Yard Fantasy with you guys. Simon, John, Luke, and Coop, you all take care, and thanks for having me.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you, Dio. Have a great
Take
one.
care, my friend.
Yeah, Dio's
God,
man,
that's a
dude.
great guy.
Yeah.
We say it every
Dio.
Good God. Well, guys, coming up next, we've got another great guy joining us. We've got our friend Tim Wright ready to play some Fast Guy Quick Time. And in honor of St. Patrick's Day, our Irish folklore battle royale bracket. This is the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Front Yard Fantasy with Simon, JL, and Coop.
Sell me on doing away with the two conference system in the NFL.
Is it really a sale whenever this is something that's commonly agreed upon? I'm selling you on water being wet. I'm selling you on something that is objectively true right here. We look at teams at the end of the season and we go, how the hell does one team have such an easy schedule while another team is just absolutely getting obliterated? And that's because of the two conference system, because the division system feeds into this conference system. It's a symptom of the greater problem. Like these divisional matchups, you're telling me it's fair that the Buccaneers are in the playoffs after playing the Panthers twice, the Falcons twice, and the Saints twice this year? That is unbelievable. There are multiple more deserving teams every single year that because of this system where we silo them into random groups, it determines the order. And yes, originally this was geography based, right? We had these divisions, they were geography. It's 2023, my dudes. Geography doesn't matter whenever it comes to the size of the United States. These teams can travel anywhere. They don't need to geographically locate them in divisions or conferences to make the games make more sense. If USC can be in the Big Ten, why the hell can't Miami play San Francisco every year? It can happen. They've got more money than these colleges and they're not taking classes. All it does is create an ecosystem where less talented teams can get rewarded for playing in weaker divisions and more talented teams are punished for continuing to improve.
Damn, bro.
Drop the mic.
I like to picture some geography teacher out there just threw a pen on the ground. He was like,
How dare you?
he smacked the globe. He was like,
I'm
what do
doing
you
all
think?
the hard work we've done.
2023 geography doesn't matter, right? Smacks his
You know
globe.
how long it took for us to get respect?
Globe goes spinning around, right? Geography doesn't matter. How dare
I'm
you?
just imagining they ripped on the world map and underneath is algebra 2. Like they just go straight into being a math teacher.
Yeah.
Lunch Money with Kyle and Ray. Weekdays at noon Eastern, presented by FantasyGuru.com.
Paper straws. Oh, they're so bad. Ray, I mean, I'm almost tempted to say screw Mother Earth. Give me a real straw. The paper straw thing is a step too far in saving the planet for me.
It's a great idea. The problem is it has to last. Like, it can't go mushy halfway through my drink.
That's
And
the
I think
problem.
That's the problem. They have a hard time standing up if you don't drink that.
100%. That's my issue, Ray. I'm all for taking care of the only planet we got. But, Ray, some people like to drive a lot. I don't. I don't get on them for they have to drive 20 minutes to work every day. Can I just get a plastic straw? Like, I think, Ray, we should be able to pay for a card that says, I don't drive every day. So they said I could have this kind of environmental impact by getting a plastic straw. I am in favor, Ray, of government-issued plastic straws if I have the proof that I'm worthy of such. If you want it, you get it. It's kind of like the Clear Pass.
Yeah,
at the
there you go.
airport.
Okay.
Like, Ray, I'd be willing to pay an extra $2 a year, and I get as many plastic straws as I want when I go out to the restaurant.
And the $2 goes toward cleaning the oceans or something. So,
Yeah.
yeah, okay. That's not a terrible idea. Not terrible.
Call, chat, enter contests in real time. It's Sports Talk 3.0 with Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network, where our mics are live during the comeback music. Joining us right now is our great friend and St. Patrick's Day aficionado and Front Yard fan member, Tim Wright, to help us out with some fast guy quick time and our Irish folklore battle.
What's up,
royale
boys?
bracket.
Hey! Let's go.
Hey.
Is that the St. Patrick's Day episode of It's Always?
Oh, he just is doing a slammer on the show.
Chug.
Irish Slammer, first thing in the morning.
It's 9 in the morning, ladies and gentlemen.
What is up, fellas?
Tim, I'd seen like that your background, your TV is on, and I thought that there was just you on your TV.
It's Always Sunny St. Patrick's Day special, right? It's got it.
Yep, it is.
I knew it.
On repeat all day.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it, dude.
Tim celebrates St. Patrick's Day better than anybody I know. He goes all in. And I told them, Tim, tell him I'm not a liar. It's your favorite holiday. Am I right?
No, it's Halloween.
Oh, shoot. I am a liar.
Liar.
But I think St. Patrick's Day is number 2. So
Number
you're,
2.
you're close. 4th
I'll
of July
take
is
it.
number 3.
If Halloween doesn't count, then St. Patrick's Day is his favorite holiday.
Yeah, then you're right.
So if you just change the criteria. Well, Tim, what do you got going on today? You got St. Patrick's Day planned?
Probably
They
not
started
anymore.
Oh
yeah.
He just took a slammer at it.
Do another one.
Probably.
It's
Plans-
really good, dude.
Tell us the truth, Tim. Is that your first one today?
It is. I waited. I had it all set up. And that was actually the Irish hand grenade where you pull the pin, take the shot, and then do it. So a little bit of a difference there, but
I see.
still the same ingredient.
His plans today now involve Uber, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
All right.
I can't
well.
see anything through these shades, by the way.
I
That's
took mine off
okay.
too.
Who needs to see? Tim, first thing we're doing today with you is we are playing some fast guy quick
Oh,
time
yeah.
No.
game. Coop's
Why?
favorite game
I
is the
replay this game all the time.
where you are required to answer questions as quickly as possible without thinking. You're going to be given a series of rapid fire questions. Your only job is to answer. And if you think you have broken the one and only rule. So fast. That is what we got to do. That is what we
Best
got
guy,
to do.
quick time.
Who's going first today? Coop, you want to go first?
Yeah, let's get this Band-Aid off.
Usually I say that and then I change it up and make you
But
go
you're right
later.
at
Will
the
you
end.
just let me go first this time?
You can go first today.
It's
Joe,
St.
you want to read these
Patty's
questions? You want me
Day.
to run through them?
You stop
Joe, you
clinking
wanna-
things over there?
You talking to me?
Yeah, you
Sorry.
want to throw them his way or you want me to do it?
You got
Talking
it.
to this leprechaun, this gremlin over here. Stop clinking.
Because who, me? No, the other person pouring a drink.
Yeah.
Well, Coop, you are going to
Me?
go first. Tim is going to keep on clinking. And JL's going to, I don't know. What are you going to do?
I'm gonna
JL?
clink with Tim. I'm gonna help Tim clink.
I just got the FOMO so bad, dude. Now I just want to let's just drink beers.
I know.
Yeah.
As soon as he started, I
Yeah.
immediately wanted. I thought, oh, should I go downstairs and get one? And I was, no, it's 9 a.m.
Yeah. After this,
It's
I'm
not
doing
9
a
a.m. anymore. It's like 9:08.
9:08.
9:05. It's 9 O'Finnegan.
Again.
I'm doing a very serious podcast recording after this for Fantasy Alarm with John and Pemba. So beers after that.
I don't
Or
even
before.
love Guinness. And Tim, every time I see you have one, though, I'm like, oh, I love Guinness. Oh, I actually love Guinness. That turns out I do because it looks so tasty.
I like the idea of Guinness.
every once in a while I'm at a bar and I just order one, and every time Leanne goes, "Did you just order a Guinness?" And every time I'm like, "Yeah,
to go with your chicken tendies."
And it's 94 degrees outside, and I regret this immediately.
Your side of silly fries?
The last
silly fries.
Yeah.
I can just imagine the last sip of a San Antonio Guinness.
Oof.
It's heavy. It's
the last sip of a summer San Antonio Guinness is
borderline solid at that point.
It's
pretty you guys got to come all to Baltimore, and we'll go to the Guinness factory.
Ooh, it's in Baltimore.
It's like the only U.S. factory, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, that's sick. Yeah, definitely.
Let's do it. I'm in. I'm on my way. I bet that place is bumping today. Good luck getting in the front doors there. On
that's my plan for today.
Yeah, just hop in the car.
Drive to Baltimore. Wait a couple hours though after that Irish Slammer.
Just take the plane. Take an Uber to the airport. Get on a plane. So you'll be fine. I'll pick you up.
Coop, are you ready to start your round of Fast Guy Quick Time?
Reluctantly. Actually, you know what? It's a special occasion, so I will say that I'm moderately interested in this game. Let's do it.
Here we go. 3, 2, 1. Favorite Smash Bros. Character?
Fox.
You're a train conductor. Make an announcement.
This train's going to Nowheresville.
Weirdest thing your dog has seen?
Me naked today.
Mean thing to say to a baby?
Hey, baby.
What was your first job?
Dunkin' Donuts. 4:30 a.m. shift.
Thing that isn't illegal to steal?
Pens.
Celebrity you pay to get tattooed on JL?
Shia LaBeouf.
What's Coop's version of the Mile High Club?
That's when you go onto a plane and write articles the entire time.
Last show you binge watched?
It's Always Sunny St. Patty's Day episode all day.
What makes you a zaddy?
Zaddy is when your daddy is Zoltan.
What would be the Coop challenge to raise money for a charity?
That's when you do as many cartwheels as you can, and if you can only do one, then it raises a lot of money.
Give a metaphor to explain sex to teenagers.
It's like when you sleep over with a nice lady and then you have a baby.
Your least favorite word?
Crap.
Time it's okay to yell at your mom.
If she doesn't make the bagel bites on time.
Name an Annie Coop buddy cop movie.
The Rams and Lakers Fantabular.
Nice job, Coop.
I hate this game. I suck at this game, dude. I truly do. And you continue to make me play it.
It's like something clicks in your brain whenever this comes on. Like
I can't.
You are normally you're a quick thinker. You're a quick responder. People throw a question at you and you got an answer ready to go. And then this game comes and you're like,
once this game,
Laker Fantabular.
The heck is Fantabular?
I don't know what it is with this game. It just puts my mind into absolute pretzel.
Since you answered, you get to pick who goes next. Who do you want to go next in Fast Guy Quick Time?
I think it's we're gonna let those Irish drinks marinate a little bit. And
that's fair.
Let's head over to the headquarters of the Irish drinks in Baltimore and have Beelzebub get it done. Or what was your name? Whippersnatch Bandicoot?
Those aren't even close to the same.
Those are totally different, but I like that one. Are you the Benedict Cumberbatch name generator?
It's not that hard.
Have you seen the Benedict Cumberbatch name drain?
I have. Really funny.
I've been using it for an hour now.
I'm now Benadryl Crumplebutt.
Yeah, you are.
If you said any of those names, everybody's like, "Oh, I know exactly who you're talking about."
Yeah, who's that actor? Crumple named Bubblebutt?
Yeah,
Like,
he plays
Benedict
Smaug in
Cumberbatch.
that movie that was way too long.
Barnacle Coochie Rash.
I'm
gonna die. I can't do this.
Buckminster Fullerene. What?
It's got Barnabas baseball mitt.
Shortstop Barnabas
baseball mitt.
Is there another actor that you can do this with?
I don't think so.
Like,
I
just
think,
to
it's
mess
the
with
three,
people?
I think it's the three syllable
Yeah.
that does it, that makes it like just the cadence. Fiddlestick, scratch, and sniff.
Benadryl Claritin.
Tiddlywomp Crumplehorn.
This will be the show for the rest of the 45 minutes. We're just going to.
Bulbasaur Cuttlefish.
I'm kind of down to do that. No,
Okay,
you guys
well,
all have to
John-
do fast time, quick time if I had to do it.
John Luke, we are moving on to your fast guy quick time. Are
All
you
right.
ready?
Should I take a bite of this dry peanut butter sandwich right before?
Yeah, immediately
Absolutely.
before. That would help. No waters. We got Curly Cooch Moldy Spore in the chat from Nick DiNuccio.
Is that another one?
Oh, Curly Cooch?
Okay, well, John Luke, I feel like this is the perfect appetizer for Fast Guy
Yeah,
Quick Time. It got you in the
it
right
is.
headspace. Here is your first question. 3, 2, 1. What's your announcer name?
JL.
Best game to play while doing the show.
Mario Kart.
Weird thing you've said to your accountant.
I don't know what that is.
A bad habit no one knows about.
I chew my toenails.
What's the name of your specialty drink?
Ovaltine.
How do you intimidate your doctor?
I take my shirt off and I go, ooh,
Favorite body part?
finger.
Time you faked being asleep.
Last night.
Unique way to celebrate St. Patty's Day.
Go with him and ride piggyback.
How to make someone cry.
I will tell them mean things and say all the mean things.
One thing you'll never do again.
I'll never talk to Coop again.
What screams I'm drunk?
Tim's sunglasses.
What's the name of your reality TV show?
It's 2.0, y'all.
Paper over or under?
Over.
Sexy piece of clothing.
Socks.
Socks. Jail.
Socks.
The rate at which you said finger was the best body part. So fast. That was your
Too quick.
fastest answer. You immediately knew
That's-
finger was number one.
Yeah, didn't have to think about that one. Fast
Did you
guy,
recently
quick
put your rankings together?
time. I did.
Wait,
Our
which,
rankings.
which one though?
So
Oh, I'll never tell them.
They're like 10 of the top 11.
You're
the
in my
way-
top 10.
the
You're
way
in my
you
top 10.
the way you intimidate your doctor, do you also hit your nurse with that when she comes to do the blood pressure, or just the doctor?
Absolutely not. That would be very mean.
Or he,
No, only the
nurses can be men, or she for the doctor. Doctors can
Right,
be
sure.
women.
Exactly what I said.
But like I said, only the doctor.
I know I can't be a doctor.
Regardless of gender, I cannot be a doctor.
Not today, at least. Not till tomorrow.
Tim says that men cannot be doctors too.
Tim's like, I don't know who could be a doctor, but I know I couldn't.
Sure not. Does it look like a doctor to you?
Doctors taking Irish slammers in the 9 a.m.
All right. Well, Jail, you win.
Dr. McGillicuddy.
I threw a full peanut butter sandwich across the room without looking. Just without even thinking.
That's a later problem.
The amount of times the show
Worry
ends
about
and I
that.
look around and I'm like, what did I do during the show today? Because there's just paper everywhere and
Drunk.
food and there's a lemon bar smeared on my laptop screen and glitter glue in between the keys.
I remember Scott last year, last offseason, Scott Fish, there's like a series of shows he kept crashing to tell us about his bags.
Yeah.
Oh,
And then
yeah.
he's like a week and a half later, he texts me. He's like, yeah, he's like, I was working and I looked around and suddenly I realized my entire room was littered with bags all over the floor. Just he hadn't cleaned up one bit.
Just brought them in one by one. Well, John, like you get to pick who goes next in Fast Guy Quick Time. Is it going to be myself or is it going to be Tim?
It's going to be you, Simon.
Okay. And you're taking over as the question.
All right.
guy.
You ready?
Yes.
Let's go. Animal you want to converse with.
Caterpillar.
What would you like a lifetime supply of?
Beetlejuice.
Which game show host would you fight?
Steve Harvey. No question.
Dictionary's definition of your name.
Handsome and loud.
What would your stage name be?
Griddle Toes Sparkle Snatch.
You're arrested. What do you do to get out of it?
Cry loudly.
Interesting way to propose.
At a Clemson football game.
Name your personal Ben & Jerry's flavor.
Poop and cream.
Headline on your Tinder profile.
Pizza, football.
Excuse you use to avoid an uncomfortable conversation.
Sorry, my dog is loose.
Give me a wrong answer. Why did you leave your last job?
Sex.
Strange thing you say to yourself.
You idiot.
Best thing to do in a car.
Masturbate.
Name a llama.
George Fuzzy Pants.
Best thing to scream during a colonoscopy.
Ooh la la.
Well done, Simon.
The best thing to do in a car.
I feel like we gotta run the tape back, because Simon, that's like you do that a lot of places.
The car thing?
Also,
it's like, Simon, we got to talk, man. You got a problem.
Also, I when they do the Ben and Jerry's like celebrity ice creams, there's always a picture of the person on there. Like there's a picture of like Jimmy Fallon and Simon's a picture of Simon, and it just says poop and cream.
JB Barry in the chat said, "Wait, what kind of cream with the poop ice cream?" That's a valid question.
Oh no, dude! See why I don't like this game?
I feel like that's got a pint topper that's like a special little mannequin of Simon on the toilet, and the toilet just goes straight into the
sitting backwards.
Yeah, sitting backwards.
It's Ben and Jerry's cord. It's the special version with like just the core of a different thing in the middle, and it's got the top of it as me sitting on top.
My core is corn flavored.
Tommy said backwards on the toilet, Simon on the cover. I sent JL a video yesterday of Richard Iowade and one other guy who I can't remember who it was talking about how he had invested 350 pound or
quid.
Whatever quid sterling British money, Harry Potter money. He'd invested $350 of Harry Potter money into a backwards toilet with who was the actor? Christian Slater? Was that the other guy he got in on investing 350 in making a backwards toilet? And Richard Iowade was like, I feel like you just sit backwards. And the guy said what I said. He said, do you want to take your pants off every time you have to poop? Because that's why we needed drawings, man. That's why we needed drawings.
Now, if you could solve the pants problem, because I mean that's kind of a
and we're talking business.
You know, they got those 7 math problems. If you solve one, they just give you $1 million. That's one of them. The
intractable math problem.
The pants problem of the backwards toilet. It can't be solved.
Can't be solved.
I feel like you'd have to have one half of your pants be tearaway pants, and you just rip away that one, and then it wraps around and connects back on the other side.
Also,
pay that man his money.
Do it.
You just earned yourself 500 Harry Potter money.
Yeah.
We got JV Barry in the chat as well saying, I'm here to remind you to shout out the dominant Penn State performance last night. Just remember who said it first when they make their Final Four run. JB, I'm right there with you. I got them in the finals in my bracket facing off against Alabama. Fell in love with them during that Big Ten tournament. So
there you have it. Legendary handicapper Simon coming in saying,
JB,
take all your money.
JB Barry's coattails.
He said, sell the barn, the family barn you inherited, and put it all on Furman and Drake and Penn State.
You
Is
got
that
it.
Drake the rapper? Is he in the tournament?
He's in the rapper
You
facing off against
better
the
believe
entire
it.
city of Miami. It is Drake versus Miami.
March Madness is just a battle royale.
Beautiful. Well, Tim, you are the last one left here for Fast Guy Quick Time. Jail, you want to run Tim through his questions?
Sure.
Okay. I did too. Figured you do too, and we'll
I can do it.
We'll be 2-2s.
I just gotta learn how to read.
Maybe next
We
week.
ain't got time for that.
We'll do some lessons over the weekend, and then you can hit one next week.
Okay. Cool.
All right, Tim, you ready?
Yeah, I might sneeze during this though.
I hope. I prefer.
Please.
That'll be the perfect answer for number 9. Keep that in mind. All right, Tim. Favorite beer?
Guinness.
What should Simon's Twitter handle be?
Poopy McDoodoo.
What's your next tattoo?
Space Train.
What disappoints your mom?
Space Train.
Bad thing to catch?
Bad thing to catch?
Yep.
Herpes.
Thing you wish you could bet on?
The dogs at my dog park get in a fight. No.
Give a name to baby Satan.
Oh, look at the little destroyer.
Give JL his horoscope today.
JL shall find pizza.
What's your celebrity crush?
Margot Robbie.
Invent a holiday.
Sweep the dupes day.
What's your St. Patrick's Day tradition?
Now it's this.
Another way to tell time.
Just wing it.
What's your catchphrase?
Do it when you feel.
The sacrifice you make every day.
Sacrifice so much poop to my toilet.
What's a strange place?
Here right now.
Well done, Tim.
Good job, dude.
Also, Tim, I totally understand what you meant by the dog park. You didn't mean the dog fights. You meant when the dogs are wrestling, who comes out on top. I heard the no. So I wanted to say, we heard you loud and clear. We're not putting anything there that you did not.
Because there's one dog that just likes to hump a lot, and I always bet on the underdog, and sometimes she comes out on top, and it's like, damn, that'd be really funny.
Underdog in which sense?
That's what I was wondering.
Physically under.
Okay. That would be so wholesome though, like dog play fight betting. So it's not like you make sure they're having a good time, but like you get points for whoever gets like the ball first, right?
Yeah, like Guinness goes
whoever
like
establishes dominance.
Yeah, whenever dog's on their back going like this, you're just like, get up, Sparky.
I got treats right on this.
I got 100 on this. Yeah.
Don't you want to eat this month?
All right.
Well
nice
done,
job, Tim. That is Fast Guy Quick Time, baby. We all answered a series of rapid fire questions. Coming up next, we've got our Battle Royale Irish folklore bracket. I'm excited for this one. Tim is the king of Battle Royale brackets. Always has the info that we might have left out whenever we're figuring out the winners of these matchups. So stick around. You're watching the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network.
Talk about your picks and your fantasy teams on Bettor Sports Network.
The importance of checking out the site that you're playing on. Default rankings of these sites. A lot of times they don't get updated. I know from experience. I used to write default rankings for the NFBKC, the basketball version of the NFBC. I'd write these default rankings in June for the NBA, before the NBA draft, before free agency opened up. And guess what? I was never asked to write an update article or update the default rankings. This happens a lot. Maybe if there's something obvious, it gets updated. Aaron Judge, for some reason, hurts his back. Maybe they make that change. Just maybe. But you don't know that. And that's why it's just so important that you show up to your draft room. You do that pre-draft prep. We're all busy. We know we're about to devote a lot of time to our fantasy baseball drafts. Why not spend the extra 20 to 25 minutes to invest properly in your team, to go and see which of those players are way down default rankings? They're going to be different on all of these sites, and you're going to be looking at them and going, maybe their analysts think a certain player who shouldn't be in the top 100, who should be maybe even not even the top 200, will be in that top 100. You got to check that out. You got to know where you're playing, just like you got to know your format when you sign up for the league. It's just so crucial, and people just skip right over it. You think it's cool to show up to the draft room 3 minutes before the draft. Well, number one, it's not cool, because the commissioner's trying to make sure it is organized, especially me, who runs auctions. You can't, it's one thing if someone doesn't show up for the snake draft, oh well, doesn't ruin it for everyone. Auctions, you can't have someone not show up. Auto bidding, auto auctioning, it ruins the sanctity of those drafts here, which is why I always recommend, hey, make it easy on your commissioner. Don't make them send those texts there. It's annoying. You shouldn't have to do that. Don't wait till the last minute, and get in there about 20, 25 minutes before, so you can just look up and down the entire default rankings list, so you can make a queue out of that, Ron. And the reason I keep saying this is because people still show up 2-3 minutes before the draft, and that's it. In fact, in one of my auctions, people were asking me where certain players were, and I go, did you search their name? No, I just got in. Well, that's no excuse right there. That's your own fault. I mean, you're organized, so you're a hard person to ask here.
You're getting those questions. This is your preschool league, right? People don't know how to search player names.
People freak out. They don't think. That's the problem. Because they show up 2 minutes before the draft. That's why.
The Playbook with Fensty and Ronis, presented by FantasyAlarm.com. Weekdays at 5 Eastern on Bettor Sports Network.
What's up, everyone? Welcome back to the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show here on Bettor Sports Network. We are about to get into our Irish folklore, Irish mythology battle royale bracket. We are going to pit characters and creatures from Irish folklore against each other in a battle to the death. In a battle to the death. You guys ready to get into it? Because we got some work to do before the end of this show.
I mean, before we get to that, we got Clipped or Meant comes in the chat saying, "Hi, I want to offer promotion of your channel, viewers, followers, views, chat bots, priced lower than any competitors." I don't know. What do you say, boys? Should we buy some chat bots from this guy?
You know what? Maybe their marketing strategy was to hit us with the sex bots early, so we got used to them. And now they're not coming back, so we miss them. And now Clipped is in here trying to get us to buy the sex bots back.
That's kind of smart, dude.
Nice try.
Yeah, good try, Clipped. The sex bots will be back, I think. Now
I
we got
can
Tim.
make my own
Now we got
sex
Tim here.
bot.
They can't help themselves.
They can't help them. So he'll be back.
Look at the sex appeal behind that mustache.
It's a thick boy. Thick
Well,
boy
guys-
right there.
Tim's a bit of a sex bot himself.
A little bit. Well, guys, we got 8 different things that are going to be fighting off against each other head to head. I'm going to run through those 8 and then we're going to get started. We have the Dullahan, aka the Headless Horseman, Balor of the Evil Eye, or a one-eyed giant, a Banshee, aka a shape-shifting female spirit, a Kelpie, a shape-shifting water spirit, Finn McCool, a hunter and warrior, maybe the
What a
greatest
name.
leader of Irish mythology, Fan Derek, the Red Man, a fairy in Irish mythology, and then the Morrigan, goddess of war in Irish mythology. These are going to be heading into battle against each other. Did I skip one? And
Last one.
Cuchulainn, the legendary hero. I didn't scroll down whenever I was looking these up earlier. So I don't know anything
Do you say
about
that one more? Do you say that one more time?
No, I can't. Tim can, though.
It's Cuchulainn.
Cuchulainn.
Cuckoo, Kachoo.
How you doing, bro? Cuchulainn.
Sounds like Andy Samberg's character from Brooklyn Nine-Nine. Like, cool.
Can we talk a second for Finn McCool is got to be top 10 name of all time.
Epic
That is
name.
the best.
It's gonna be difficult to vote against him.
It's gonna be really hard.
I threw a link to our bracket page in the chat, so you can click that and see it as we're seeing it as we're going through this. And if you guys haven't, you got to look at the picture of Finn McCool. He's fighting this giant thing, and he's just like beaming this super laser beam down, and he's just got a shield, not even worried.
Keith, get us a picture of Finn McCool, would you please?
We got him. Whenever they're in the matchups, we're going to pull pictures up so that people can see them, see these pictures. We got it. And let's jump into our first matchup.
Looks like He-Man. That's sweet.
Tim, you're going to have the first vote on this first matchup. Are you ready?
Oh, yeah.
I'm going to give a quick description of these as I throw them out there as well, and we'll get the pictures up there. The first battle is the Dullahan, the Headless Horseman, versus Balor of the Evil Eye, the one-eyed giant. For the Headless Horseman, our description we have is a headless rider on a black horse. He carries his head under his arm. This harbinger of death uses a whip made from a human spine to mark the souls of those about to die. And then Balor of the Evil Eye is a one-eyed giant from Irish mythology, leader of the monstrous Fomorians, whose deadly gaze could kill or destroy anything it looked upon. And we've got that picture up over there of Balor of the Evil Eye.
Big boy.
The Headless Horseman versus Balor of the Evil Eye. Tim,
It's crazy.
I love that that even one-eyed giants can't escape male pattern baldness.
Gosh, I think the Dullahan is cooler, but man, that is a thick boy that can shoot laser out of his eye. What?
Thick boy.
Does he only shoot one laser? Is it considered he shoot laser out of his
Only
eye?
got one eye. Yeah. One laser, one eye.
Oh, that just sounds gross. For that reason alone, I'm going with the Dullahan.
The Dullahan.
Yeah.
Dullahan getting a vote from Tim Coop.
How do you kill the Dullahan? His head's already in his arms. He's like, I conquered death, bro.
How do you kill the Dullahan, dude? So I'm up. Yeah,
Yeah.
my initial thought when I see this is that I'm like, okay, one-eyed dude is gonna be at a disadvantage. You know what I mean? You get that one eye, he got no eyes going on. But the thing is, dual hand, he doesn't have any eyes. He doesn't even have a head. So I'm not even sure that eyes can be used as the measuring stick here.
It's like I'm questioning my whole life.
No, because I was like, this is easy. He's only got one eye, and I was like, wait a second, oh, God, I didn't have any eyes. So
been using eyes for evaluation for 28 years.
It's the eye test. Everyone, famous scout eye test. Yeah, I mean, just the thing is, I'm looking at the pictures of these guys, which is going to be how I judge most of them. And the whole spine thing is cool, but this Balor guy just vaporizing everything on the ground with his eye laser, I'm not sure how you stop it. So I'm going to go ahead and go eye laser guy here and vote for Balor.
One vote for Balor from Coop.
Of the evil eye? That's
Evil
crazy.
eye.
That Balor? Man.
Balor. That's
one
the one.
Balor, one Headless Horseman. JL, where are you rolling here?
Man, I don't know. I fall in the middle on this one. The thing that really sticks out to me that I can't figure out how Balor is going to get around is it says he uses the Doulahan uses a whip made from human spine to mark the souls of those about to die. So if he just goes and he's like, "Whoopah, you're about to die," what is Balor going to do? That's it. Game over. End of right there.
Let me just interject and say that he still has a couple seconds to vaporize him. It's not like he dies immediately. so
then they both lose.
They could both lose, yeah.
Fast.
But I'm just saying, it's not like it's instant. You know, he could have another week.
He's got one eye. How good of his aim? You know, is his aim really that good? What's his
This
depth
guy's gonna
perception
die
like?
at some point.
He could vaporize. He could vaporize his way through the whole bracket if he gets like a week or a month. You know, what's the time limit?
He also has a laser coming out of his single eye that he uses for viewing. So I have to believe that he can't actually see while he's. So I can't imagine he's that accurate with it.
That's true. That's true.
But if
So I'm going Doulahan.
You're going Doulahan. So we've got 2 votes Doulahan,
Headless
1
Horseman.
vote Balor of the Giant Eye. I was looking up a little bit about Balor because I knew less about him. I was a little bit more familiar with the Doulahan. I've watched Durarara multiple times at this point. There's a lot of Headless
And
Horsemen
I've
going
listened
on.
to Duran.
That just broke my brain for a second. I don't know why the Duran from Durarara sequence just put me in a freeze.
Welcome.
But when I was looking up Balor of the Evil Eye, one of the sentences that stuck out to me was he has been interpreted as a personification of drought, light, and the scorching sun. That's what he has been characterized as. Like,
that's hot.
Don't get me wrong. I get it that the Headless Horseman just has to touch him or hit him with that whip. But I have also seen Balor described as having indescribable height. So he's so tall that human numbers can't describe how tall he is. And he's got a laser that has the power of the burning sun. I don't think the Doulahan's getting anywhere close. And I know they can regenerate their head over and over again, but I think it's going to be like the Doctor Strange loop where he's just stuck dying over and over and over again as the horseman regenerates its head and comes back. I'm going with Balor of the Evil Eye.
I'll tell you right now then, I don't think many of these pictures are accurate then, because his height looks fairly describable in most of these pictures.
I mean, what height would you have to have for it not to be able to be expressed in human numbers?
That's what I'm saying. You got to be way up there.
It was also probably different in like the 1200s or whenever this character was created. I imagine the highest number they had then was probably like 1,000.
Yeah.
That's all we need. We're set.
How tall was he? How tall was he, Prometheus? It was, I don't know, it was more than 1,000.
It was too tall.
Too tall. He had to be stopped.
I counted to 1,000. I couldn't even get to the top.
Well, we have a tie 2-2 on this one, which means we need some help from the chat or from Keith. Whoever wants to come in and give us their vote, we will determine the winner.
I did just throw a poll in the chat.
Perfect. So let's throw that in the chat and we can move on to our next matchup if we want while we wait for some results from that one. A tie on the first one.
I want to know, there are 3 votes. One for Keith, one for Hot Pasta, and one for the chat. That's the tiebreaker.
Our next matchup that we've got here is a Banshee, a shape-shifting female spirit versus a Kelpie, a shape-shifting water spirit. So Banshee is a female spirit in Irish folklore known for their mournful wailing, acting as an omen of death for certain families with the ability to shapeshift and appear as beautiful or haggard women. So they have a yell.
One or the other. Nothing in between.
You couldn't have picked the beautiful one, Keith? What the heck is that?
she is beautiful.
He says that is the beautiful one. The Kelpie is the shape-shifting water spirit that can appear as horses or humans, known for luring people to ride them before dragging them into the water to drown.
Come on, Keith. You picked the worst out of the 4 pictures.
He just picked the horse. There were 4 pictures.
I don't even know that's Kelpie, dude.
The horse.
It could just be any
All
old
3
horse.
of them are there's 3 out of the 4 are hilarious, and 1 is just normal. And Keith picks the normal one.
What are you doing, dude?
Keith is really scared of horses, and so that's why he picked that one.
I should have known. I should never have put the normal one in there.
Tommy said, "Looks like a Hallmark card." It does look a bit like a Hallmark
It just
card.
looks like hipster art.
Hope you get back to horsing around soon.
I hate that.
All right. Am I up first on this?
Oh, these things.
Okay.
Are you going with
I mean,
the Kelpie or with the Banshee?
I'm going through these Kelpie pictures, and there's one picture where the horse thing is like attacking somebody, and it doesn't even look like it would be that bad. Like it's like biting them on the shoulder. Like you would just be like, quit it. You cut that out. So I'm going with the other one. I'm going with the first one, the one that looked kind of like Tony Dungy. Like give me the scary shapeshifter siren lady versus this one that turns into a horse. I mean, I feel like as far as like dangerous animals go, just a human is probably a little more dangerous than a horse, in my opinion. So you're kind of shapeshifting into a less dangerous creature. Give me the first one.
I don't know. A human without a weapon. Give me a horse in that
Yeah,
fight.
and it's not just a horse. Like we're taking the one part of it. It's a horse fish combo that's also a spirit. Just
Yeah,
can
that's
change
true.
and take any form.
And also they have the mind of a human, so now they're a very crafty horse. But I don't know. Give me the other one. Give me the Banshee. The Banshee looked scarier. I'm also, my votes are going to whatever.
It's because Keith picked the Hallmark card. Actually, the other pictures don't look very scary either. But
One of the biggest determining factors
They're
is
funny.
which one would make for a cooler tattoo. In which case, the Banshee is out front.
really,
I think so. Is that just a horse?
a horsefish?
Horse fish?
A seahorse, as some may have called it. Well, John Luke,
Some-
that is one vote for the Banshee. Where's your vote going? For the Kelpie or for the Banshee?
I'm not even sure what the Banshee would do in terms of harming the Kelpie. The Kelpie in its description, which, like, come on, Kelpie. You couldn't have named yourself something more intimidating. Kelpie does not sound mean at all.
Dude, you think you're hooking up with a hot chick and then all of a sudden she's not hot?
It's a Kelpie.
I can't think of anything worse.
And it says known for luring people to ride them before dragging them into the water to drown. That is right there. In the description, it tells you how it's going to kill the Banshee. Come on, get on. It's going to be fun. Hop on. We're going to go for a ride. She hops on. Straight into the water. Right to the bottom of the lake ocean. You're dead, Banshee. Look at that giant mouth the Banshee's got. It's gonna all that water going in there. You kidding me? Like a fire hose.
I forgot about the drowning part. That would be bad.
Jail going with the Kelpie. That means it's my vote. I see Dustin in the chat saying Banshee. My buddy wrote up a Banshee for D&D that is pretty widely used. And that was going to be the argument that I brought up, was the Banshee's powers in Dungeons & Dragons 5th edition. Now, most of the Banshee's attacks or abilities require the creature to not be undead. The wails and the horrifying visage, in order to scare the creature, which is one of its primary ways of hurting someone, it cannot be an undead creature. Undead creatures are immune to the scares of the Banshee, which we're looking at the Kelpie. I believe that is a construct and an undead creature. It's a spirit, and they're going to be immune to a lot of what makes the Banshee so powerful against the living. It doesn't have that same power against the undead. So I think the Kelpie going to be immune to the Banshee screams. It's just going to be a screaming Banshee on the side of a lake. The Kelpie's going to come up, turn into a horse, drag it into the water, game over. And the Banshee's just going to be screaming the whole time with the Kelpie not even reacting.
until it gets underwater. And it's gonna be like,
Exactly. It'll be just like that. The 2 votes for
Simon
the
Grunewald, fantasy detective at law.
I feel like the Kelpie needs to keep winning so we can keep hearing that sound.
Well, that's 2 votes for Kelpie, 1 vote for Banshee. Tim, where are you voting here?
I think if this were a will it beat me bracket, the Banshee would move on all the way to the finals pretty easily because I would be tricked, bamboozled. I would fall for it every single time, and I'd be okay with it, honestly. I would not fall for a seahorse though. Those things I'd be like, I don't trust you 1 second. I'm not gonna. You're standing suspiciously next to a little puddle. First off, and you want me to go ride you into that puddle? No chance. No chance, you stupid horse.
It'll be fun.
But unfortunately, this is where Banshee goes to die. So
a couple more of those Guinnesses, and the Banshee would turn into the haggard lady, and Tim would still be like, all right.
Yeah.
Puts his own shades.
He's like, yeah,
I can't see a thing in these.
All right. Yeah, we're still
good.
It
looks good to me.
Well, Kelpie is going to move on to the next round. Jail, do we have a winner of the Headless Horseman, Balor of the Evil Eye matchup?
Yeah, Headless Horseman.
The Doulahan, the Headless Horseman, is moving on to the next round, which means we move on to our 3rd matchup here. We've got Finn McCool, Hunter and Warrior, versus Far Darig, the Red Man. And so you guys know a little bit more about these guys. Finn McCool is a mythical Irish hunter and warrior, leader of the Fianna, known for his wisdom, strength, and adventures, including the creation of the Giant's Causeway. So he is a hero of Irish myth, maybe comparable to like the heroes of Greek myth that maybe we're more familiar with, like Jason and Perseus. Now, Far Darig is the Red Man, a small mischievous fairy dressed in red who delights in playing practical jokes and creating chaos, sometimes considered a variation of the leprechaun.
All right,
dude, I saw something about this guy. I'm excited to talk about this guy. He's wild.
What is happening in that photo?
Yeah.
Well, I believe I have the first vote here, and I don't even know what to do with Far Darig because I feel like he's the wild card in this bracket. He could be anything, an element of chaos. An element of chaos could be an early exit, you lose right away, or you could make a surprise run all the way to the finals as this guy. Who is he fighting again? I completely forgot already. Finn McCool versus the little mischievous Red Man.
Finn McCool sounds like a dude in Top Gun.
Finn McCool.
You know what this sounds like?
Every bully ever.
This sounds like the end of a journey where Finn McCool has slayed giants, killed dragons, destroyed monsters, defeated gods. And then he gets to the end of his journey. He's almost home. He stops in the forest and freaking this little red man comes out and kills him with a poison berry or something. I'm going
grabbing his own crotch with the
buddy who eat this berry to play with me. Then in the future you will see. And this guy
does he even kill things though? You basically said he was a practical jokester.
Keith, can you pull the photo back up? Because there's one specific part of it that is really unsettling, and it's his big toe. It's big toe down there. What is he doing with that?
Dude, you know he can grip with that bad boy. He's climbing across trees.
Well, I'm voting for this guy. Finn McCool is underestimating him after he's destroyed giants, and he's going to come out sneaky and beat him in the forest. Tim, you've got the next vote. Are you going with?
So one thing I want to highlight with this Far Darig character is he busies himself with practical joking, especially with gruesome joking. And one of the jokes he plays is stealing babies and replacing them with changelings.
Oh, changelings! So changelings were also in my research. I found they're like small fairy-like creatures.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So I picture Finn McCool coming back, like Simon said, from his hunt back to his his wife and kids. Not his kids anymore.
Not his kids. Changelings.
Those changelings are about to just like rip him apart because he's like, oh, these are my kids. We're not your kids.
Angelina Jolie is there in the corner.
Yeah, and Far Darig is just sitting there smoking a pipe. He's like, gotcha.
My kids now.
Yeah. So I think Finn McCool is too much of a goody two shoes good guy to fight dirty against this Far Derek character.
Who
And
is
I think
going to fight dirty?
He's going. Is this whole shtick is fighting dirty?
I'm pretty sure if you swap out the dude's kids for changelings, he's gonna be pretty pissed.
Yeah, but what are you gonna do? He still has the real kids, right? You can't. The only way to get it back is it's a sticky situation.
Yeah,
I'll tell you with my vote. This Finn McCool has like hounds and swords and spears and stuff. Like this dude with his big toe would get obliterated. And I don't think little changelings are gonna
stubbing that bad boy on it.
Yeah, I don't think Finn McCool is gonna have any issue with changelings. So I'm voting for Mr. Cool, dude.
One vote for Finn McCool.
I'm putting the Mr. Cools on.
Jailer,
not a chance in hell Finn McCool has any children.
No way.
He's way too cool for that.
He's got them all over the place. He doesn't know.
Yeah, he's got them all over the place. He doesn't talk to a single one.
No, that's how myth works. That's how myth works with these heroes. They'll be like, and then his 47th son, living 4,000 miles away, rose to the throne and claimed his spot as rightful heir.
Right, dude.
John Luke, are you going with Finn McCool to tie it up, or are you giving it to Far Derek, the red man, the little mischievous trickster with the big toe?
Send it to the chat.
I didn't see what picture Keith showed for Finn McCool. Kind of looks like Link. Yeah. And I feel like Link's going to win no matter what. Oh, yeah, that one. Look at that. Looks like Link with dogs.
It's hunting dogs, dude.
Yeah. So I'm going Finn McCool.
Well, it is tied up 2-2. So we're going to send this one to the chat as we move on to our next matchup here. Our last first round matchup. It is the Morgan, Goddess of War versus, hey, Tim, want to help me out with this one?
Kakulin.
Kakulin, the legendary hero. So the Morgan is a shape-shifting Irish goddess associated with war, fate, and death, often appearing as a crow or a beautiful woman, and known for her ability to influence the outcome of battle. And then Kakulin is a legendary Irish warrior known for his incredible strength, skill, and supernatural abilities, often associated with the Ulster cycle of Irish mythology.
What the heck's an Ulster cycle?
An Ulster cycle?
What is that? It sounds like seafood.
Like something you'd ride around. It was beeping a horn.
The Ulster cycle.
There goes Finn McCool on his Ulster cycle.
Jail, I think we actually skipped you and it was supposed to be your first turn and I went first instead. So it is your turn to go first in this one. Who's going to win this? Is it the Morgan or is it Kakulin?
Kakulin kind of just feels like he's trying to be Finn McCool, but he's just not quite cool enough.
He's a poser.
Constantly has a complex because Finn McCool is so much better and cooler than him. So I'm going to go with the Morgan. She can influence the outcome of battles. You kidding me? That's crazy. Kakulin's not going to stand a chance. He's a warrior. He's in battle all the time. That's going to be a severe disadvantage.
Oh my God. Now I can vote right now because JL just poisoned the well with this guy Kakulin, dude. Now I just picture him being like, I'm Finn McCool. And they're like, no, you're not, dude. And he's like, I'm Kakulin too. So now I have to vote for Morgan too. I can't vote for this Kakulin guy. That's my vote, Morgan. You ruined it, JL. Thank you.
Yes.
So something we are ignoring here, I think, is that the Morgan not only influences battle, but specifically helps heroes and warriors get to victory in battle. She's the goddess of that. So I think she's going up against the hero, one that is also a demigod. He's not just a mortal. His father is a god. She might, as part of her duties, influence him to be victorious in battle against her as part of her duties as the goddess of war, heroes, and battle. Like, if this is a hero that has supported her and worshipped her, I don't see her suddenly changing course. She's going to want him to succeed, and she's immortal. He may defeat her. He may defeat her, but she will come back, and her hero now defeated a goddess. Know what I mean? She helped a hero defeat a goddess. So I am voting for Kukulane. That's what I said.
Cuckoo-lane.
I'm voting for Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs.
All that.
Cuckoo gets my vote. So 1 vote for Cuckoo. Tim, where's your vote going?
Wait. Simon, did you say she's immortal?
What?
Is Cuckoo immortal?
No, Cuckoo is a demigod, is half immortal. The father is a god.
Morgan is immortal?
Yeah.
So she can't lose?
She's a goddess.
Dang. How does she lose when she's immortal?
Simon's basically saying that she's going to sacrifice herself to help the other guy, because he's a hero.
Can you sacrifice yourself when you're immorl?
I think you got
so.
it.
She's got all the powers.
What do you think? We got like 2 minutes left to do the rest of this bracket.
I know. I'm just gonna go the Morgan. Super crazy, love her. But Cuckoo is also kind of known as the Irish Hulk, so he goes like super Hulk. He transforms into this monstrous being too, which is pretty sweet. Nobody touched on, which is dope. But Morgan, send her on.
Well, Morgan is moving on to the next round here, and to face off against Finn McCool. Our next semifinal matchup, real quick, is the Doulahan, the Headless Horseman, versus the Kelpie. Tim, you've got the first vote here. Where are you going?
Give me the Headless Horseman. Water Horse is dumb.
Coop, what about you?
I just going back to my criteria of what would make for a cooler tattoo, that it's definitely the Headless Horseman holding the spine like a whip versus that picture of a horse or whatever that was. So give me Doulahan.
John Luke, it is 2-0 so far. What are you doing here?
He's a horseman. He's a horseman. I feel like it's self-explanatory. He wins.
Yeah, I'm going with the Headless Horseman as well. He's hard to kill, man.
Someone doesn't have a mouth.
You just got to touch you. And how's a horse going to ride a horse? You're going to put the horse on the other horse? Checkmate, atheists.
All right, that might switch my answer back. That's pretty cool.
Coop, you've got the first vote in this next one. Finn McCool, the hero, versus the Morgan, another goddess. Where are you rolling here?
I'll tell you right now, dude. I was scrolling through more pictures of Finn McCool, and there's a picture that's it's like a garbage watercolor, but he's got 2 swords and a beer in the picture.
All right.
Finn McCool absolutely wins. Keith, if you can get that beer picture up there, I think it might influence everything.
The patron saint of St. Patrick's Day, 2 swords and a beer. JL, where are you rolling here? Actually,
I gotta go Finn
Day would be
way too cool.
Finn McCool, way too cool. And my logic for the last round, I have to stay consistent. This is another hero that I'm assuming she would support. So I'm voting for Finn McCool as well over the Morgan, which means our finals is the Headless Horseman versus Finn McCool. Coop, you've got the first vote.
I would have voted Morgan. Would have turkey stomped.
I'm not sure if you heard me earlier, but I said 2
Did you
swords.
That's what I didn't get to.
Yeah, wait, Tim didn't vote on the last one? I'm a jackass.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter.
He goes, I would have gone for the Morgan.
Yeah. Either way, I'm not sure if you heard what I said last round, but I said 2 swords and a beer. I rest my case. Finn McCool.
Tim, are you going Finn McCool or are you going with the Doulahan?
I get to vote this time? Sweet. I'm going to go with the Doulahan. He's literally using a spine as a whip. He's like, I did it once, I'll do it again.
Okay, well, I think I got to go with the hero here. I'm going with Finn McCool with the swords up there. JL, where are you going?
I'm going Finn McCool. Lock it
Finn
in.
McCool,
Good guys.
champion of the St. Patrick's Day Battle Royale, the hero coming out on top. Everybody enjoy the rest of your St. Patrick's Day because that is going to be it for us today here on the Front Yard Fantasy Morning Show. Until next Monday, 7 a.m. and every day after that, Monday through Friday from 7 to 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Stick around here on BSN. Up next, we got Moose and Keith rolling and a whole day of awesome programming. Until Monday, though, we are out of here. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy St. Patty's and adios, everyone.
Woo!